I am curious if Jesse Tyler Ferguson's podcast is going to be, if they're going to have to stop. Because I told you I did it. And the whole thing is that like we eat through the whole thing.
The whole thing.
And I was like, Jesse, I feel like people are not going to want to listen to this. And he was like, what? He was like, I did think about that. And I was like, because let me tell you something. I get like hate mail when I eat on our podcast. And he's like, we'll see. Maybe I should close that door so no one can see the fucking mess of clothing that I hate. I packed for this trip like a person who hasn't dressed themselves in years. Like a person who has been like on sabbatical wearing just one robe for the last 10 years and then comes out of the sabbatical and is going on vacation, a trip to see their friends in Los Angeles and packs. Like I saw this, several people sent it to me. I think you maybe sent it to me, like a TikTok of a girl packing. I maybe even reposted it where she was like, I'm going for 5 days. I am going to need 7 purses and this dress has never fit me, but you know what? This is the moment. It's definitely going to work now. That is like what I did is so unhinged. The clothing that I brought makes 0 sense.
Oh my gosh.
It like truly defies logic. Also, Gina's sick.
Oh no, what's wrong with Gina?
I don't know. We can't figure I don't know if she ate something weird or if she had too many treats somehow. I don't know what, or she got into something.
Ugh.
But she had diarrhea all night.
Oh no.
And threw up today.
Aww.
I know. And so then I'm going to take her to the doctor, the vet, her old vet here.
Yeah.
And take her to the vet in a couple hours after we finish this.
She really is your dog.
She's really my dog. Stomach issues, travel issues.
Yeah.
This microphone is great, but it'll be good when I'm back. But currently, I'll take a picture of my setup. I'm balanced. like my computer is balanced on a suitcase.
Oh my gosh. That's not ideal.
It's not ideal. You know what?
If you're just going to hold the microphone stand, you can just hold the microphone if that's more comfortable for you.
No, but it's not because this microphone is like just like this little short fatty. Okay. He's not like a microphone, you know?
Gotcha.
He's like a real, it's probably actually does make it this.
Yeah.
I don't know, Caissie.
You can just, you can just whatever. I think it's going to make the same kind of noise no matter what. So it doesn't matter really. Whatever you want, whatever's more comfortable for you.
I'll try to figure something out.
I know you probably miss your desk at least.
I do.
Using a suitcase will definitely make you miss a desk.
And I see my guys, my birds, my guys. I see them out there. I was going to go to Emily's house like I did last week, but because it's a holiday, Juneteenth.
She's home from work.
She's home from work. And also then I was still going to do it, but Gina's not feeling well. And I just felt like I couldn't really leave her. I just felt like I needed to just stay close so that she feels a little bit comforted.
Yeah.
She looks real sad.
Aww.
I know. I know.
Well, I hope she's okay.
Me too. And also, because I wanted to open my birthday present on air, as we like to do.
I know. It's just a little something. For those of you who don't know, I was at Emily Beebe's house the other night having pizza.
How would people not know? Or, how would people know that?
I don't know. I'm explaining because you're mentioning your birthday gift. I was at Emily Beebe's house for pizza the other night, and I thought I might see Busy there, so I brought her birthday gift, but she wasn't there. So I just left the gift there, but I figured you'd probably get to it at some point because you're close to Emily.
I saw it yesterday and then at her house. And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to wait until we're doing the podcast here tomorrow. And I'll open it on the air. But then Gina being sick, I just texted BB and was like, I'm not going to come over. Because even though she's home from work, she's like, you can still do the podcast. And it would have been nice because BB could have jumped in.
She could have jumped on. I know. I'm always dying to have BB on.
Well, we should do that, definitely. I did not make it. I had a rough... There was a new moon,
Yeah.
On Saturday.
Yeah.
It was a weird day. It was very difficult for me.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if anything weird happened to me on Saturday. What was your day like?
Everyone I talked to was like exhausted.
I was definitely exhausted, but I just chalked that up to being too social.
Well, I had I don't know how much. I had a call from my friend's husband, my friend who is currently pretty sick.
Yeah.
And it was like the worst. It was really bad. It was bad. It wasn't great.
Yeah.
And I probably wouldn't even be talking about it if I didn't get a call from him yesterday.
Right.
In which, like, sort of a wild, hopeful, maybe miracle happened.
Okay.
Which is crazy.
Right. Yeah.
Which is just that, like, there are so many tests, like genetic tests and DNA tests now when you're dealing with diseases that when they do them all.
Right.
And they had thought that they had gotten all of the results back.
Okay.
And there was one that just came back yesterday after having like a really disheartening, like that the treatment's not working and it's not great. And got this thing back yesterday that was like, they got a hit on this DNA thing. And so they can do a targeted treatment, which is incredible. I was researching it last night. And, because, chemotherapy kills the good cells and the bad cells. That's why because it can't differentiate.
Right. That's
but now
what they're rough on people. Yeah.
Right. And sometimes it doesn't kill the bad cells. Sometimes it doesn't work. Right.
Right.
So this test that came back, basically with the kind of DNA or the sequencing or whatever that they were able to find, they can just target the cancer cells with a totally different treatment. It's totally different. And it could be fucking amazing.
Right.
And I'm just very, very hopeful that it is,
Yeah.
But I couldn't I was just having Saturday, I was just I couldn't leave. I just was having a really rough moment. And then our friends Simran and Vince came over. It was me and Birdie. Mark and Cricket came. Me and Birdie and Gina. Mark and Cricket came late on Saturday. But Sim and Vince just came over and brought, they're just, those are, and that's also hard for me thinking about New York versus here. It's not a versus situation we've established. But just that I have people that just show up with wine and tequila and food and just start doing things and
Yeah.
It was really, really nice. And I felt it was really nice. And it was perfect amount of people too,
Right.
that I could handle. But I just couldn't come to a pizza party,
It was only a few people as well as at Emily's, but I totally got it. I figured that kids were hanging out with kids and that was your priority. And so, but anyway, I just wanted you to get your birthday gift, but you will get it. It's not even your birthday yet, so it's not late.
My birthday's on Sunday.
No, I know, but I wanted you to have it.
Are you going to come to Thrilling Adventure Hour this week?
I'm going to try to, yes. Yes, I talked to Ben the other day. And Ashley Nicole Black's doing it.
I didn't realize that.
I believe.
I didn't know.
I hope I'm not spoiling something, but I believe Ashley Nicole Black will be at this show, Thrilling Adventure Hour. You'll be in it, Busy. Our friend Paul F. Tompkins will be in it, I'm sure. All of our friends are in this live show in LA, Thrilling Adventure Hour. You should go. It's super fun. If you've never listened.
You can also get, I think they do a live stream.
Yeah.
My mom already was like, now Busy, is this something I have to buy or can you just send me a link? I was like, Mom, I don't know. I'll ask. But there's 2 shows this weekend, 7 p.m. and 9 p.m. And I haven't, if you do know Thrilling Adventure Hour, then just tune out for the next minute because I'm just going to explain to people. So Caissie's saying most of our friends are in it, but Thrilling Adventure Hour is a show that started about almost 20 years ago. It's like 18 years, I guess.
Wow.
I joined the regular cast almost 15 years ago because Birdie was a baby when I started doing it. And they have there's a collection of regular cast members. And the idea was always that it was sort of like a send up of old timey radio serial plays, you know? So there are certain stories that are all, there are like 5 or 6 different ones that are the stories that we do. Like there's Beyond Belief, which is going to be this weekend.
Which is like a paranormal thing.
Paranormal, that takes place in the 40s or whatever.
Right. Which is Paul F. Tompkins and Paget Brewster as a married couple who loves alcohol and thwarting paranormal activity.
Fantastic. That's just a perfect descriptor. And then the one that I'm like a regular in is Sparks, Nevada, Marshall on Mars, in which I play the Red Plains Rider. But Mark Evan Jackson, who plays Sparks, Nevada, is out of town for the summer, so we're not going to be doing that one.
Because what Marsavan Jackson is doing, I call him Marsavan because he told me a funny story about how one time he got paged in the airport and they called him Marsavan Jackson. And he was like, that's a great name. But anyway, he invested in like a sloop, like a sailing ship. He invested in the boat that he used to work on as a young person. And now he's taking people around on like chartered cruises for the summer. Okay, so it's a schooner. A schooner. Sorry,
I don't know. Mark Evan Jackson is. You do, right?
You know him.
You know who he is. If you watched
Babysitter's Club, The Good Place.
If you watched Brooklyn Nine-Nine, he's married to the captain.
Yeah.
Birdie, that's what Birdie loves him from. But he also he's like just the best person. I love Mark so much. He did the Good Place podcast.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, he grew up on the East Coast and in the summer worked on this schooner. I want to do it. I'm not kidding. I want to do it.
It looks amazing. It looks like, it looks incredible.
I have to say his like Instagram ads for the schooner kind of make me lol. He's
because
like, why won't you come spend the summer on the schooner with me, Mark Evan Jackson, and some friends? Like, it's just the cute, like, it's so cute. Like, I know what he's doing. Like, I know that I know him so well.
Yes.
That, like, I just love it. I fucking love it.
Wait, I want to find out the name because it has, like, a pretty name. The boat is, like, a lady's name, I feel like. I'm looking on Facebook because we are Facebook friends. And, it's Sail Grace Bailey. So you can.
Why don't you sail Grace Bailey? I'm like obsessed. I want to do it.
Yes, I want to get a berth on the Grace Bailey and go sailing with Mark Evan Jackson on the East Coast.
I think it would be so fun.
But I do want to be cautious of orca attacks. So until they make orca
I don't know
repellent,
if the orcas are hitting up boats on the East Coast yet.
I don't know, but I don't want to be the first, you know?
We got to talk about these orcas.
But anyway, we'll talk about the orcas, but back to Thrilling Adventure. So Mark Evan Jackson, he's not going to be in Red Plains Rider this time on Thrilling Adventure. It's going to be someone else.
No, it won't be. We're not doing it.
Oh, you're not
They try to not do, like, if one of the main characters isn't available, like they very few other people have played Red Plains Rider if I'm not available. They just sort of like cut out the episodes that she's in.
Or they'll write you out of the episode.
I don't know. Occasionally people have filled in, but like Sparks, Nevada, I don't think anyone has ever played other than Mark Evan Jackson. But I played once. Did I fill in for Paget once? In Beyond Belief? I think I did one time. But that's very rare. Yeah. Anyway, there are like some serialized stories. People get really into it. It has a cult following. It's released on podcast as well. The live show is really funny. There's like inside jokes and total bizarre. Sometimes their jokes are so deeply inside that even I am like, I don't understand this at all. Somebody please explain it to me. And they're like, oh, it's a Star Wars reference from episode and I'm like, nerds. Okay. So, I mean, it's like a real nerdy thing that people love. Anyway.
You should go. And if you can't go, you should check it out anyway, because well, I think a lot of you like community and a lot of you like discovering new things. And this has both. Thrilling Adventure Hour has both. And so, yeah, you should just get into it. And it's pretty fun.
Yeah, you definitely should.
So I think I am going to go.
Okay, which show are you going to go to?
I don't know. I have to talk to Ben and Ben. They're the guys that are in charge of Thrilling Adventure Hour.
They write them and they put these things together.
They put it together. There's music. They're directed by Aaron Ginsberg, who's also like a big TV guy. He's also my strike captain sometimes for the WGA. So, you know, it's all just a very, it's
guys, I'm going to say it. It's nerdy.
It's nerdy, but it's great.
Fun. It's fun, nerdy. They're singing. I sing. That actually, I have to say, and I've talked about this a little bit before. I don't think I wrote about it in my book, or I think I did, and then it just was kind of, we cut it out for whatever reason, because I wrote way more than needed to be in the book. But Thrilling Adventure Hour came along in my life. When it's interesting, actually, that we have today a live performer on the show as our guest.
Yes.
Because Thrilling Adventure came along in my life at a point when I was like, had forgotten why I loved acting. Like I was so sort of oppressed by the business of it and the like not getting parts because of the way that I looked or not getting cast in things that they were like, you were everybody's first choice, but they had to go with this other person and like all that stuff. And getting on stage once a month, because we used to do it monthly, and then before the pandemic, actually, we slowed it down to being, I don't know, quarterly. And then we kind of stopped doing it. And then there was the pandemic and we were doing it a little bit on Zoom. But for a good chunk of time, it was a monthly show. And at Largo here in Los Angeles, which is a small theater that like a lot of comedians perform out. And there's just like a lot of variety shows there, music and comedy and stuff. And just getting on stage with a bunch of other actors once a month.
And all kinds of amazing guest actors too would come in.
I mean, like George Wendt, and I mean, iconic people.
Ben McKenzie was a bit. I was at a show that Ben McKenzie was doing, and the kids were flipping out that they weren't there because they come to and they love Ben McKenzie so much from the OC and
so great.
Gotham. I think he's on Gotham.
There have been so many guests. I like actually can't even.
You couldn't even begin.
I couldn't even because we did it every month, but it was just like the whole thing, and we became. I mean, we're all super weirdly close, just because it really reminded me the fun of acting, and that because even though like my main character is Red Plains Rider, I'll do like small bit parts in other stories.
Yeah.
And oftentimes it's like, you know, a ghost in Beyond Belief that's like a French. Oh, I remember once I did Joan of Arc.
Yeah.
Like the ghost of Joan of Arc.
Yeah.
But what I had just seen, I can't remember. And I decided to do it like Marianne Cotillard.
Yeah.
But like real sexy.
Yeah.
Like a real sexy Joan. I mean, it was just like, it's just, and you can kind of do that stuff, you know?
Right.
It was just so fun. And it really made me like, remember that the reason why I love doing this is not just the getting jobs.
Right.
But it's that I like really genuinely love doing it. And
right.
Being creative with other creative people.
Right.
So it was really an important thing that came into my life when it did.
Aww.
And I forever love it. And I haven't been in the show in so long because obviously I moved to New York and I'm really looking forward to doing it on Saturday.
Oh, that's
night.
exciting.
The two shows.
Also a regular cast member. I want to shout out Craig Caissie.
Oh, the greatest of all time. The greatest of all time, Craig Caissie.
Truly,
let's be real.
One of the greatest improv performers I've ever seen in my life. And
that's what everybody says. Everybody says it.
Yeah.
He's the best that's ever existed is what everybody says.
And also really nice guy.
Oh,
really
he's
good,
the best.
Really good guy.
He's a great person.
Yeah.
Anyway, I just would say this past weekend was highs and lows, guys. So many highs, so many lows.
Yeah.
The lows were real fucking low. The highs were all right.
Oh, man. Well, I'm glad that you had your night. I'm sorry that I missed you. I did get to see you at Ashley's house on her birthday party night briefly. But then I also didn't talk to you because I was like, I'm going to let her socialize with other people that she hasn't seen because I talk to her all the time. So we just like snapped a quick drunken pic together with some friends. But then I was sorry that I missed you at Emily's. Here's what you're sorry that you missed at Emily's because we had pizza. But I said that I would bring dessert. And so Emily's vegan. So I brought I made an ice cream sundae bar. And it was pretty good, I gotta say. Like, I had my doubts about this. I made vegan hot fudge sauce, and I had my doubts about how it would have come out.
No,
just because
vegan, but you don't need milk in hot fudge sauce.
I just didn't know if my recipe was like, good or bad.
I just know that like
it was good. It was good.
The best to me, like the best things, the best vegan things are sweets.
Yes, that's true.
Like because also you don't have to when people have to combine things like it's vegan and gluten-free, get the fuck out of here. You know what I mean? Like
it's
eliminate the animal products and let's get into it.
Right. The pizza was also really good, but I do have to say, like, shout out to the vegan hot fudge recipe that I used that I looked up online because I didn't know if it would be good or not, and it was pretty good. And everybody loves an ice cream sundae bar. It brings you right back to being 10 years old.
I love hot fudge more than anything.
Me too. I would honestly just eat hot fudge, like sans all the other things, but you have to like pretend like you're into the ice cream, that, you know, the ice cream's like a vehicle to get the hot fudge into your body. But I love hot fudge as well.
Well, sometimes you don't need a vehicle. Like when I worked at California Pizza Kitchen.
Yeah.
Have I ever told you this?
I don't know. Have you?
Well, in high school and college when I worked in California Pizza Kitchen, the guys who worked in the kitchen knew how much I loved the hot fudge there from the ice cream sundae.
Yeah.
And they would just give me one of the little ramekins
Yeah.
of hot fudge, like halfway through my shift. I'd be like, I need one. I need a hit. And they would give me a little ramekin of hot fudge. And I would go into the like back service station and I would just like eat it with a tiny spoon. I would just I would shoot it.
Just eating hot fudge, eating some straight hot fudge. I get that. I would probably do the same. But yeah. Vegan hot fudge. It was good.
Okay, yes. Why is hot fudge not vegan when it's not vegan? Because milk?
I mean, I think it has butter and milk or cream in it. And I think a lot of times, depending on the chocolate that you used, here's why I doubted my recipe. Because I was saying that I normally would have used, if I was just making it non-vegan, like a meltable chocolate, which I know that they make vegan meltable chocolate. But this recipe called for cocoa powder, which I sometimes think is like a poor substitute for meltable baking chocolate or whatever, but sometimes it has like fat solids in it that are non-vegan. So you have to be careful. So anyway, I used cocoa powder in this and it came out glossy and fudgy and great. So no complaints. It was a good recipe.
Listen.
And you
better post that fucking recipe.
I'll post the recipe and we just use the, whatever that whipped topping is. It's like the vegan form of Cool Whip, but they sell it right next to Cool Whip, even at like Target or whatever. So it was no problem. But yeah, so that was that. But then what else happened this weekend? J-Lo's Father's Day post about Ben Affleck. A lot of people sent it to us.
A lot of people sent that post to us. I want to say something about that. Like, I always feel like we really made our brand known.
When people know that they need to alert us.
Truly.
To something that we would have noticed anyway.
I mean, I don't know if I would have.
You don't? I definitely would have noticed it.
I don't know. I mean, if you haven't seen the post,
it's a carousel first. It's a carousel with stills and video, a montage. But the first still is it's a very sexy picture of Ben Affleck.
That's the first picture.
You
can see that part of his body that where sometimes when guys are working out really hard, it's like their hip muscles or something that like forms that intense V that goes down to their dicks is all.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's what always freaks me out about a picture like that. Cause I'm like, their dick is like right there.
It's
right there. It's like, it's not in the picture, but it's there.
You know
what I mean? Like, it makes me nervous. Even though I know that it's not possible that the picture can expand and show their dick, I still get nervous.
I was nervous. I was nervous looking at it.
I was like, I'm not old enough to see that picture. And I'm 50. So I feel bad I'm 51 actually. I feel bad for everyone else younger than me because it was too hot for Father's Day.
Wait, you thought it was, I think that was the point, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Also just using the word daddy.
Yeah. It felt like it was like very,
Now I'm regretting doing the show here, the podcast here. Now I should have gone down to Emily's house.
Because is Gina just being...
No, it's not Gina. It's like everybody, like clearly like a bunch of people just came back to this house. It's not the biggest house, this house. But it just feels like it's going to be loud and annoying. And I'm like, why did I? Because also now people are here so they can watch Gina. But I just felt like...
Yeah, you didn't want to leave her.
I didn't... Can you hear her? Is it loud?
I can hear, but I'm worried more that it's distracting to you, that you will feel like you can't be yourself.
Well, everything's distracting to me.
I do know that. But I feel for you. That's a hard way to live.
Oh, no. Sorry. Thank you. Thank you, though.
Wait, are they all people you know in the house? Okay. Do you want to pause and go to Emily's and pick up when
I have time. Maybe should I?
If you want to, if that'll make you feel better.
I can't decide, Caissie. What should I do? Yes. Yeah.
Do it.
Okay.
Do it. Bye.
Hiya. Okay. So actually, I saw Birdie's friend. He came over, who they were both little best friends when they were in preschool together, Killian.
Yeah.
And he came over, we were hanging out, and then Birdie was talking about their cavities because they were both the victims of their mothers giving them gummy vitamins on the way to preschool. Oh and gosh. Killian and Birdie matched for like literally 12 cavities or something each.
Oh my God.
In their mouths from the gummy vitamins. And here's the thing that we didn't know as young mothers 15 years ago. Most children's vitamins are basically candy in disguise. They have 2 teaspoons of sugar, chemicals, gummy junk that kids shouldn't have. And it just sticks in their little baby teeth and then it just rots them. And
man.
And that's why I love Hiya, the vitamin, the pediatrician approved, super powered, chewable vitamin for kids and also just adults. Anyone can have them. Because Hiya is made with 0 sugar, 0 gummy junk, but it tastes good and it's perfect for picky eaters. It fills in the most common gaps in modern children's diets to provide the full body nourishment that kids need with a yummy taste that they love. Because here's how they do it. It was formulated with the help of nutritional experts. Hiya is pressed with a blend of 12 organic fruits and veggies, which is, I think, why it tastes so good.
Yes.
And then it's supercharged with 15 essential vitamins and minerals, including vitamins D, B12, C, zinc, folate, and many others to help support immunity, energy, brain function, mood, concentration, teeth, bones, and more. All these things your kids need, and we know they need them. But I just was so scared for so many years after the debacle with the teeth.
The dental incident.
The dental, as it is known in my house as the dental vitamin incident, dental gummy vitamin incident. Anyway, Hiya is the answer. Truly, it's non-GMO, vegan, dairy-free, allergy-free, gelatin-free, nut-free, free of everything else that you don't want. It's just been like it's been a real win.
It's a win.
It comes straight to your door.
Right.
So I don't have to worry about it when I'm out trying to remember the 47 other things that I need to get because Hiya just comes to my door and there's a little bottle that is refillable. So like the packaging is small and minimal.
And the bottle's personalized by your kids. And so they have some ownership over it and they remember to take their vitamins. It's all great all around.
Totally. Guys, we've worked out a special deal with Hiya for their best-selling children's vitamin. Receive 50% off your first order. To claim the deal, you must go to hiyahealth.com/busy. This deal is not available on the regular website. Go to hiyahealth.com/busy and get your kids the full body nourishment they need to grow into healthy adults. You guys, Caissie and I are so obsessed with bass. that we literally like pitched Base to another company. we were trying to work with. We were like, do you know about these? Do you know about this luggage? Because we're obsessed with this.
These bags are so good. We like used our valuable business meeting time to talk about how much we love these bags.
So just in case you're wondering if this is real or if we're like full of it, we are not full of it. We like legit are obsessed with the things that advertise on this podcast, but especially with Base luggage. Because honestly, Base is made for me, an overpacker.
Right.
I mean, it truly is. It's like the luggage of my dreams.
And I'm the kind of person where I think I'm a really smart packer, but like being uncomfortable and not being able to manage my bags in the airport is like my downfall. And Base has solved everything. It just works perfectly.
What I love is that Base was created by an actress, Shay Mitchell, who, actors, we know how to travel. We have to travel a lot for work. And you want to like always look good when you're traveling, especially like a young hot actress like Shay Mitchell getting photographed. And she was like, I'm going to make affordable bags that are sleek, that look great, that age well, that are well made and affordable, and also like has 360-degree gliding wheels, has a cushioned handle, has a built-in weight indicator so I don't go over when I'm traveling, has washable bags for my dirty clothes, all of these like super cool interior pockets so that you're organized. And I love the Weekender bag that has the separate little zip open place where you put like 2 additional pairs of shoes will fit in there. Also, I have like used it for wet bathing suits coming back from a vacation.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
It's so genius.
Because it's so genius to have this like separate compartment that like your other stuff doesn't have to touch. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's just, guys, just highly recommend checking out Base. Because it's like, I do think luggage is so, I don't know, it can make the difference, especially when you're packing. And right now, Base is offering our listeners 15% off your first purchase by visiting basetravel.com/best. Go to basetravel.com/best for 15% off your first purchase. That's Basetravel, BEISTRAVEL.com/best. Here we are.
You made it.
Guys, I wish there was real time, like, of just Caissie talking to you for how long it took me to get down here, because it
actually wasn't that long.
That's my point. It was like 7 minutes total.
Oh my gosh. Well, do you want to open your gift now that you're there?
Yeah. Wait, hold on. Where is it?
It's in a brown bag with blue paper.
Okay, hold on 1 second.
Okay.
I found it.
You found it.
Wait, what? What? No! My God. How did you do that so fast?
People ship fast.
This is literally the greatest thing of all time. Thank you for this.
It's a stack of it's a rainbow of journals, but they're a special kind that Busy likes that has like an elastic that goes around to hold it closed, a pen holder. I put matching pens in each of the journals, and then it has a pocket in the back for things that you want to keep in there that aren't in the journal. Anyway, she just said the other day that that's her favorite kind of journal, and that she had one that was like getting to the end. So I got you like hopefully a year's supply.
I mean, this is so special. I can't even thank you enough for this.
And then the other thing, you're going to have to try out and see how it goes.
It's a mini printer.
So yes, so it's a Bluetooth mini printer that you can use with your phone, and the little paper, it's like thermal paper, like receipts are like it's inkless. So it prints in black and white, but it's a bunch of different colors of the thermal paper and they're all sticky. So you can print stuff out from your phone, hopefully, and then unstick it and like put it in your journals, like little notes that you make on your phone or whatever.
Oh my God, I'm so obsessed. This is amazing. Thank you so much, Caissie.
You're welcome.
I mean, I will say you were mentioning this printer on a phone call that we were on. And I was like, we were on a call with other people as well. Yes. And I was like, I don't know, guys, my birthday is soon. So it is kind of,
I got to get that for her.
Yeah, it is kind of amazing that you were like, well, yeah, all right, I'll take the note. Can I tell you something? You know what I need?
What?
So many, like, no one comes with a plug anymore.
I know you need just like a 10-pack of like little bricks. To plug into the wall.
It's so
Agreed.
Weird. Why is it so difficult?
I don't know. It's like, it's such a thing that like, it's not that expensive, I feel like, to include it with your thing. Everybody wants you to use a little USB plug all the time, but they never want to give you the little brick. And so it's like Apple's responsibility to provide everyone with bricks. But I feel like Apple has moved on from bricks. So we have to move on.
Oh, Apple's moved on in such a big way.
Yeah.
Well,
so
I can't wait to find a brick.
They're called bricks? I don't know.
That's what I call them.
Okay.
I call them bricks.
You know, the little like block that you plug your USB cord in to plug it into the wall.
These notebooks are amazing because look at what I was currently using.
Oh, just a little skinny mini with
my pen stuck in there.
Your pen in the little
it wasn't great
wire bound thing. But anyway, the good news is like I feel like there's USB ports in everything now. Like I feel like they're everywhere. They're in like our lamps, and they're like there's one on the base of every lamp in my house, I feel like. So hopefully there's one somewhere.
I feel like I can't ever find one when I need one.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like yes, and then you'll see one when you don't need one.
I guess, what is that? Is that Murphy's Law?
I guess it is. I guess it would be Murphy's Law. I guess it is. There's a lot of, like, it's weird. We have all this modern technology, right? But then we make all these obstacles for ourselves to being able to use it. So we're living in like a miracle time where you can get like a little printer to print things from your phone. That's a miracle. Like,
that's a miracle.
Imagine? We never could have imagined that in our wildest dreams growing up. But then do you have the little thing to plug it in to charge it? Absolutely not. 100% not. So, you know, it's like a lot of miracles.
So then what?
Exactly. You have
where are we?
You have to make your own miracle of getting a little brick. I would have stuck one in there if I knew that it needed that. I didn't even think of that.
You know what? I think that we now know what I need to do. A six-pack of bricks.
6-pack of little plug things.
I will say, like, oh God, I guess it's my birthday week, huh?
Yes.
You just kicked it off.
I kicked it off. We got it started.
You got it started. I had my nachos the other night.
Oh, good. That's good. Your nacho levels were low. It wasn't the same. You moved on.
I think I'm done. Mm-hmm.
No. Oh my God. End of an era.
Truly. And I think,
are you done with nachos, or are you done with those nachos?
Caissie, I don't know. I don't know what
you just gave me like a little panic flashback, because when I worked for David Letterman, part of the job was getting him pasta for lunch. And you would have to convince a restaurant to open up early because he ate lunch at like 11 a.m. and no restaurant in New York is making pasta at 11 a.m. So you would have to convince a restaurant to make him a dish of pasta early while they were like prepping the kitchen. And so that was like a thing. You had to like form a friendship with the restaurant and really like grease the wheels to make that happen. Because he had to eat lunch at that time, because then he had to go rehearse the show, whatever. He wasn't being a diva. But the thing is, there would reach a point where he would be like over the pasta and want to try a new pasta from a new place. And then you had to break up with the restaurant while also simultaneously starting a new relationship with a new restaurant. And that was like the most anxiety provoking situation.
Alex just texted me. No one ever sent him a link. I texted him the link.
Oh, okay. Thank you for doing that.
Hey, man.
Oh, he's here.
He's connecting to audio. He's there. Hi.
Hey.
How are you?
How is the sound quality?
Oh, it's so good.
Is it?
No,
Yeah, it sounds
fine.
good.
It sounds good. It sounds fine.
Sounds fine, or it sounds...
No, it sounds okay.
I have this, but it's just for my phone. I don't know how long my phone life is.
Alex, I feel like is one of those people that like probably always has a phone that's about to die. Is that right?
1,000% correct.
That's generational, right? Don't you think?
Yeah.
You really think it's generational?
Sure. Caissie, you don't know. Caissie and I think everything's generational. So
Yeah, of course you do. 1 second.
Did you see that like TikTok of some kid who was like, we need to talk about Gen X, like what the fuck, they dropped the ball, blah blah blah, why aren't we like pointing more fingers at them? And then it's just this hard cut to this lady like my age, and she's like, because we will fuck you up. We had nothing. We were left alone. No one was watching what was happening. We had to draw our own fucking conclusions.
Oh my
Anyway,
God.
hi.
How about this?
Great.
Sounds great.
Is that better? Hold on. Built-in
sounds
output, built-in input. Oh, there we go. This is exactly what I wanted.
Fantastic.
Well, I know that you're super smart. I know you to be super smart. So I was like, if anyone's going to be able to figure out how we do this weird remote podcast, it's going to be Alex Edelman.
Well, Alex Edelman is really smart, but he's also probably really fucking overwhelmed and insane right now because his show opens on Broadway in like 2 days.
My show does open on Broadway in like 2 days. Should I, by the way, you want me to record Audacity? Do you want me to record on my own?
Yeah, if you want to.
That's on Caissie. Alex, 90% of the time, I don't even get it right. So last week, I was 20 minutes late for a guest because I had a new Zoom recorder and I couldn't figure it out. So,
I mean,
we're really doing this. It's
One
like
time,
a
Elizabeth
professional
Warren, Busy was
operation.
stuck on TV, and Elizabeth Warren gave me a tour of her house while we were waiting.
you're kidding me.
I was
on her
stu-
computer.
What was I? What,
You were like
where was I?
doing press for Girls Five Eva, and you were like stuck on a live hit. And I was
That's
like,
right.
Busy will be here in a few minutes. And she was like, oh, no, it's fine. So then she just walked her laptop around her house and showed me around her house.
I mean, that seems ideal. That seems literally ideal.
Alex, how are you feeling?
thing. Good. By the way, I'm not going to be able to record.
Don't worry. It's fine. We're
think we got
recording
it.
you. It's just a backup.
Okay. I'm feeling, want to ask me again, Busy?
No. How are you? How are you doing? How are you feeling?
I mean, I'm freaked out, but also like, it's so crazy. This never happens to comedians. I mean, it's happened like 10 or 11 times to comedians. So it's like aggressively unfamous comedians being on Broadway. It's very rare. So it's like, it's a nice thing. I'm enjoying the rareness of it all. And
I know I was going to say, because it's not like it's like Billy Crystal, like Take Me Out or something.
no,
You know,
you mean
is that what it
700
was called?
Sundays.
Whatever it was.
Take Me Out is a play with lots of nudity about baseball. 700 Sundays is a very sweet, as far as I know, zero nudity, one-man show. Unless Billy Crystal loses a gasket or something like that.
Wait, were you thinking of Mr. Saturday Night? Is that, and you changed it to Take Me Out?
No, okay, guys. First of all, Alex has a show called Just for Us that was so successful off Broadway, so wildly successful that it was supposed to be like 6 weeks, and then it ended up being like a year, and then now it's going to Broadway for a limited run. What theater are you at? The Belasco?
The Hudson. Next door to the Belasco. It's pretty.
Is it really?
Close. Yeah, right next door. You're well.
See, so guys, I might not know a lot about Broadway, but I do have a great sense of direction. Okay. So
I was going to say, geographically, you know more than anyone about Broadway. It seems
geographically, I'll get you fucking anywhere you need to go, guys. But the Hudson, and it opens June 22nd, which is, well, if you're listening to this podcast, yeah, I mean, it's like tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Oh my God.
So get your tickets. So you're nervous.
I'm nervous, but also kind of amped. Like,
yeah.
I also have to believe that it's a good show because it's, you know, here, even my imposter syndrome, which is like, if my imposter syndrome is a bell, it's midnight and it's just like, but also like my therapist, Busy Phillips, is also like, it's a good show and it's here for a reason. Busy has talked me off the ledge several times and,
in the years that we've known each other or just recently?
Well, first of all, not a lot of people know this because I don't think I've ever told anybody, but Busy Phillips convinced me to go to therapy.
Wow.
Do you remember this, Busy?
Of course I remember.
Ran to Busy at a sandwich shop in Los Angeles. And we kind of knew each other from like my friend Morgan's house. And
Morgan Murphy.
Yeah, we had some nice
I know
chats.
Morgan. She's my friend too.
She's amazing. And I was of sitting around with, Busy's like, what are you up to? I was like, just trying to decide whether or not to go to therapy. Someone was like, you should set up this appointment. And Busy was like, go to therapy. So.
Well, no, I remember that I was like, oh, well, I mean, you could skip if you want to. Like, is this a new therapist? And you said, no, I've never been to therapy before.
Never been to therapy before.
And I was like, whoa. You gotta fucking go. What are you doing? Get the fuck out of here.
You're just raw dogging life?
I was like, I'm like, you're a comedian and you were raised Orthodox and you've never been to therapy. You get the fuck out of here. You gotta go to
Massachusetts?
And you're from Massachusetts?
To a therapy. Get me to a therapist. But
I wasn't wrong. I'm not wrong.
No, you're not wrong. I still see the same therapist. But romantically, now, no.
No, that's not right. That's
not true.
It's an abuse of power.
That really, wait, on whose part?
Well, it depends how powerful of a client you are, I guess.
I control the flow of comedians to this therapist who has a store above a bagel shop. It's not a store. You don't call it a store, right?
Office.
The therapy store, yeah, the therapy store.
Office.
Where
they should call it the therapy store. I feel like more people would go. Yeah.
I get some wellness. I'll take some wellness and I'll take some trauma reduction and I'll take some cure for insomnia. They're like, that'll be $400, please.
Alex, how long has that been? How long ago was that? Do you remember?
That was end of 2017.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Right.
So almost
and
6
look at
years.
all the good that's come into your life since.
I mean, yes. I mean, on the other hand, things are nightmarishly stressful. But yeah, it has been really good, and I have been really lucky and blessed. But Busy Phillips has done her best with me. Truly.
That's so great. Well, congratulations on therapy and on this huge accomplishment. Like, I would think it'd be a little hard to have imposter syndrome when, you know, it seems like you were forced to go on Broadway. Your show was so good that they're making you do it on Broadway.
People were like, you got to do it.
Yeah. They were like, you must now go to Broadway. If you don't go to Broadway, you have to pay the off-Broadway tax.
Right. So, you know, it's not like something that you set out to do and you should be wondering like, oh,
we
gosh.
Don't know. What did you set out to take?
Yeah.
Show
Broadway? Caissie's right. Like that was a, no, I didn't set out to do Broadway. It was it's only because I didn't imagine it. It'd be like if you were walking down the street and someone's like, do you want to go to the moon?
Ooh. Right. And you're like, I'd be stupid to say no.
What? And they're like, do you want to go to the moon? You've won a lottery. Would you like to? I'm aware, by the way, that working your show towards a thing isn't the same as winning the lottery. But like, just for the sake of externals, let's say that like it's the same as winning the lottery. Someone's like, do you want to go to the moon? And you're like, yeah. And then people are like, is it a dream of yours to have gone to the moon? And you're like, well, I guess. I mean, when you're a kid, everyone dreams of going to the moon. But no, I never thought that would happen. So yeah, it is.
Isn't that kind of like Isn't that kind of like what we have to do in life? Like currently even?
Yeah.
Like just in the world? Like I think that what could be possible isn't even imaginable, right? Sometimes.
I think the key, though, people are like, what's the key to getting your show to Broadway? And I'm like, the key to getting your show to Broadway is being totally okay if your show never goes to Broadway. Which sounds so silly, but like, do you know Dayenu? Do you know what Dayenu means?
Explain. In Hebrew?
It's Hebrew. It means it would have been enough. Like, it's a song that Jews sing on Passover. Like, if God just took us out of Egypt, it would have been enough. If he had just opened the Red Sea for us.
It's like it's an honor to be nominated.
Yes, but it's an honor to be nominated 100 times. Like basically, like if you hear like, just to bring it back to generational stuff, if you hear like old people be like, every day above ground's a good day and everything else is gravy. Like the idea, which I think a lot of people don't associate with Jews actually, is that it's all gravy. And so I think about your art, you truly have to believe like, okay, if I'm just doing the show to 12 people, that's gravy. If I'm just doing the show to like, the dream is to be doing your show and it's good. Like that truly is enough because all the other stuff eventually comes or it doesn't. Like I've done shows that have not exploded. This is my third solo show. My first show was a really big, first show did really well. My second show was better received critically and commercially, but didn't have the same sort of joy of discovery. Like people, like it was a sophomore album and it technically was better, but it didn't have the same sort of like, it sold more tickets and got better reviews, but it wasn't the same like, and like this show has done better.
Well, I think I have feelings why I think this show, your show, Just for Us, has been resonating so deeply with so many people, but I'm curious what your thoughts are on it.
Should we tell people what the show's about, I guess?
Yeah, we could. Or they could just buy tickets and go.
I mean, they could. I could spoil the whole show in one
Don't spoil the whole show. It's really fantastic. It's a great
It's a story of suspense. But it's, I mean, the show is very accessible, but it's also political. So I think I think threading that needle, which took years, I've been working on the show for like 4.5 years. I think doing that, like trying to thread that needle is what's given the show its sort of like appeal to folks. And it's been is why it's resonated. Why do you think it's resonated, Biz?
Well, the show has a lot to do with identity and I think that we're just in a moment where people are trying to understand other people's not just other people's identities, but also their insistence on claiming identity in the way that like harms others or to exclude others. Because in the show, Alex there's a lot to the show, but you tell a story sort of throughout the whole thing.
I went to this meeting of white nationalists in Queens. And as Busy said, I was raised Orthodox Jewish. And after a while, someone's like, I'm sorry, but this guy's a Jew. And I'm like, yeah, I'm a Jew. And then there's an argument. And there's a big question at the end, which is, will I be killed? And obviously, I'm killed.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, spoiler alert. Undead.
Guys, he dies at the end. Yes, it's so wild.
It's like The Sixth Sense in some ways, but in reverse. But yeah, that show does, it does pose that question that Busy just pointed out, which is like, what are the vicissitudes of our identities? What are the what do we sublimate about ourselves to fit in? Which parts of our identities are valuable, which are worth apologizing for? And I think, that conversation has had resonance with pretty much everybody. So, white people, people of color, Jews, non-Jews, straight people, queer folks, like it's had this crossover appeal that is very current and really interesting to see, frankly. So, yeah, I'm fascinated by it. I'm fascinated.
Me too. I'm really fascinated by it.
This is so exciting. I think this is going to be a huge deal and a huge hit.
Oh gosh, let's hope so. It's so many fucking tickets to sell.
Well, yeah. Wait, I wanted to ask you about that. Like, so you're doing this podcast today. Obviously, we're friends for a really long time. I think you've listened to this podcast, haven't you?
I have. We've occasionally texted about the podcast.
Yeah, I feel like we have.
I feel nervous now that you've
What do
listened.
you mean you feel nervous?
What do you mean? Caissie?
I feel nervous because I just thought, because like a lot of our friends don't really listen. My family listens.
I would say most of our friends don't listen.
Your family must listen.
They listen to everything. And I think it's been really nice because I feel like they've gotten to know me in a way that they wouldn't know me otherwise, which is interesting to feel known by your family that way.
I will say I'm a few weeks behind. The last one I listened to, I think, was Sophie Black D'Elia.
Oh,
She's
yes.
the best. I love
So that
her.
was a while ago, right?
That was a while ago.
That had to be sometime in May. But like, there are some really beautiful. I've listened to the Michelle Williams one.
Aww.
Well, we love her.
Williams.
We love her
Michelle
so
Williams
much.
is, oh my God, so cool. And the ones that you guys just, or listen to the live one that you guys did in somewhere in LA, San Francisco.
San Francisco.
Yes.
Not Boston.
Not Boston, not my hometown. But yeah.
Do you know how fucking drunk the people were in Boston?
Boston was my it was crazy. Boston was my hometown too.
I know. I'm aware of that you are a Boston.
And so I had a lot of friends there, like my school friends came out to support. And it was really like a balance of joy and terror because of how drunk so many people were, because they were really being overserved. I feel like the drinks were big and inexpensive. That's what I think was the issue.
Do you know what was amazing, by the way, is back in October when Busy tripped down her stairs and almost broke her neck.
Remember.
I got the play-by-play via text from Busy, and then I listened to the podcast like 2 weeks later, and Busy's like, I almost died last night. And then I heard it again for the consumer. Remember that, Biz?
Well, because I was with you earlier in the night at the ACLU thing, and then you and Natalie Morales were like going to get food, and I was like, I'm going to go home. I need to go home. And then I went home and almost died.
Further behind the scenes on that, it like Busy described it, but then like a couple weeks later, she was mentioning something that she like got caught on a Ring camera. And I texted her, holy shit, the video of you falling down the stairs must be on your Ring camera.
And she sent me that video immediately.
I did.
My son is the one that blurred out everyone's license plate numbers on the video so that it could go public.
I was trying to figure out how to post it publicly, but then Mark was like, we don't want people knowing where the house is. And I was like, I don't know. Everything in New York looks the same to me still, So I was like, how can people tell? And he's like, they can. But then Caissie's son was like, I'll just blur out everything around it.
I mean, that's really funny. And it's not funny that you almost died.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I actually wasn't hurt at all. I wasn't in the, you know what I mean? Like I was.
Can I tell you my favorite part of it?
What?
My favorite part is that you didn't die and that you weren't hurt at all. My second favorite part.
It's so nice. It's so nice.
My second favorite part is the pumpkins kind of like rolling around.
Bouncing off my butt. The pumpkin that bounced off my ass into the street.
Because it ties it to a specific season. It gives it a place and time. And the pumpkins just take a life of their own, take on a life of it's a really great piece of cinema. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend.
Alex, I'm so excited to see you on Broadway. Wait, are you just like sitting in that room that you're in right now and like doing interviews and
I did
stuff,
an interview with the Today Show earlier. I had a photo shoot with The Atlantic, and now I'm doing this. And then tonight, I'm going to take a bath. Like, I have my first, rest. I hate baths, by the way. I think
it's my favorite thing in the world.
Excuse me, you're sitting in a pool of your own filth, but I do
It's not.
It's like a big bowl of Alex soup. No. What's not to like
that
about
is exactly, I mean, hey, if you really want, I'll sell the water at the merch stand. But no, I think it's absolutely disgusting. And
what do you put in your bath?
What do you mean? What do you put in your bath?
Just yourself?
Yeah. Is it just yourself?
I need eucalyptus and all this shit.
Well, I don't know. I'm asking. What do you put? Do you put anything in it?
Like a bath bomb?
A bath bomb. I'm going to my friend Benji's for dinner first, and then we'll have.
Are you going to bathe at Benji's?
No, I'm going to bathe. I'm gonna bathe in public like a real man, just like a tub in Times Square with claw feet and a bath cap, and me scrubbing myself with a long-handled brush.
By the way, that'll get you some press.
That's like very David Blaine. That seems like something David Blaine would do.
Yeah. Humming Rhinestone Cowboy whilst I scrub a dub.
Wait, no. I need to help you with this because I feel like
first of all, isn't it bad for us? Aren't the scented things bad for us?
Yeah, I don't want you to use scent. I wasn't advocating for it. I'm not advocating for a bath bomb.
Every partner I've ever had is like, you can't use them. They're nightmares. You can't use them. They're crazy. They're so bad for you. Like scented body wash, scented bath bombs, all those.
Well, we have different parts. Like, I don't know, like, I don't know. Like, you want to be careful with,
we don't think as much of a bath bomb is going to get into you as would get into us. But
correct. That's what I'm saying.
Not to put too fine a point on it.
Exactly.
I mean, okay, I'm not going to pick it apart.
We have bigger holes.
Guys. But also, I'm gonna just say, since we're putting fine points on things, worse things have come out of me than I think would be than a bath bomb going into me. You know what I mean? I'm just saying.
I'm very sure I don't
either.
Know what you mean.
Wait, listen. Right. Here's what I'm gonna say, Alex. I really am a big believer in Epsom salts, Dead Sea salts. Magnesium. I have this like magnesium liquid thing that goes into a bath that absorbs magnesium through your skin.
Oh,
what?
Dead Sea salts.
Alex is not having Dead Sea salts, but also
I've had Dead Sea. I was in the Dead Sea last year, and it was like
so fun.
Don't shave before you go into the Dead Sea.
No. That must really burn.
No, it was a little. I kept my head out of the water, but it was actually a pretty amazing experience. But like, I was really. It's so funny. The mud, you scrub the mud all over yourself, and it really is like a very. You come out feeling soft like a baby, but it's. Have you been in the Dead Sea? Have either of you been in the Dead Sea?
No.
Caissie, did you know? Oh my gosh! First of all, you float. It's so dense, you literally cannot sink.
The salinity of the water, like it's like actual salt holding you up.
That's what my baths are like too.
Busy just floating on top of a tub.
The salt throws Busy out of the tub.
I've had so much salt in my bath.
It's just a bath of salt with some soggy water. It's just a bit of a slush pile of salt.
Kind of. Yeah. No, I let it dissolve before I get in.
But yeah, I don't do any of this. And also I have to figure out what I'm doing this thing on Sunday at the 92nd Street Live with Josh Groban.
Oh,
Josh
yeah.
Groban's going to interview me about my show, and I love Josh Groban. So
I love Josh Groban too.
We love Josh Groban.
He raises me up is what I'd say. Has he been on the podcast?
He hasn't. He was on Busy Tonight, our late night show, and
I'm vitally aware of Busy Tonight.
We did a segment called Tweet Dreams, which I loved so much, where we would just comb a celebrity's Twitter feed for things that they once said that they wished. And we found a tweet from Josh Groban saying, you know what? I just really miss sitting in a park. Like, I really wish I could just go sit in a park. So we like transformed the studio into a beautiful park, like as he was sitting there. And we had ducks walking around, like live ducks, and people walking dogs, really, and an ice cream man.
Did he laugh?
Yeah, he loved it.
Yeah, he was great. He was great.
He's also like so good in Sweeney Todd. It's insane.
I think he's amazing. I'm a big, I'm on the record as a huge Josh Groban fan. But you know, there's a humor to him too that is like really irrepressible. He's like a fucking hilarious dude.
He has such a good sense of humor. When my son was really little, Josh Groban was like new. He had just like burst onto the scene, and he was a guest on the Rosie O'Donnell show. And my son was I worked there, so my son was in the daycare, and he came down to visit the kids in the daycare, which was so sweet. And he asked the kids if they wanted him to sing anything to them. And my son asked for, what's the song from Willy Wonka, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory?
Pure Imagination?
Pure Imagination. My son was like a toddler and asked, can you sing Pure Imagination from Willy Wonka? And he sang it so beautifully, like right to my son. And it was such a touching moment. And then my son was like, it was pretty good.
Oh my God. What?
And Josh Groban laughed.
Sounds like an ungrateful shrew.
An ungrateful shrew toddler. Josh Groban laughed so hard. And then when he came on Busy Tonight, I reminded him and he was like, oh my God, that I totally remember that. But he was also like, I would have sworn it was like 4 years ago, but it was really like 20.
I have this. Hold on. I'm going to see if I can play this from, I recorded this at the Comedy Cellar the other night. I don't know if this sound will work.
I have bought tickets to see Josh Groban. I went to go see him in
Can you hear?
Eugene, Oregon.
Yeah.
I don't know why I say that to demonstrate how much I like Josh Groban that I would go to Eugene, Oregon.
Those people are from Eugene, Oregon.
3 hours in a field. He did music in 4 languages. He sang Pure Imagination from Willy Wonka. I cried. And then I was taking an Uber back to Civilization, and the Uber driver ruined my bliss with what? He went, who'd you see tonight? And I said, Josh Groban. He went, guilty pleasure, huh? And I said, why should I feel guilty? And he went, what? And I said, why should I feel guilty? For seeing a once-in-a-generation talent sing timeless classics.
Okay, first of all, guys, that's weird.
What?
That I said Pure Imagination, and I pointed out of all the songs in the Josh Groban songbook that Caissie was like Pure Imagination. I was like, oh, I'm familiar. I quote it in my if you hadn't said Pure Imagination, obviously I would never have like played that clip. But isn't that weird and interesting?
That's so weird. Maybe my son's overly harsh critique as a toddler has made Josh Groban like maybe
really buckle down on Pure Imagination.
Yeah, maybe
it
feels like
part
something
of his repertoire.
Yeah, he has to like get it right.
He's the coolest freaking guy in the world, and I get a lot of stick for loving talented. I love talent. I know that's such an obvious thing to say, but like, I can never shit on a talented person.
No.
Like, it always bothers me when people are like, "Oh, Hamilton's not that good." I'm like, first of all, Hamilton's a miracle. Like, I'm aware that you're like that you can criticize it a little by being like, "Oh, it's like a little," like a little like 1781, but like it's a fucking miracle. The show is incredibly good, and like. People are like, oh, it's overrated. And like,
well, it's the thing, right? Like when people like, I don't know. It's like if anything gets too popular, people decide that it can't be worth anything, which is just so insane.
To every lash, there's a backlash, and to every backlash, there's a relash, and to every relash, there's a double backlash. Like it's things move in a pendulum style.
Yeah.
So
it's the British tabloid model. I feel like we build things up to tear them down. And I'm not a fan. And I really, that's my most hated thing, actually, Alex. I hate when people say something's a guilty pleasure because I'm like, it's such an insult. And I'm like, unless like kicking dogs is your guilty pleasure, you should feel guilty about that. Anything else, no. Like,
wait, by the way, do you guys know that like 90% of the people that come up to me because they recognize me from like Dawson's Creek or I don't know, anything I've been in, they say, oh my God, it's so embarrassing, but like, I loved you on Dawson. And I'm like, it's not embarrassing. It's my fucking job and I love it. Like, what
are the cool dietetic shows we're supposed to be watching?
Truly. I
Succession.
don't know. Yes, that's it.
That's it. And by the way, in 10 years, people are going to be like, is Succession even that good? And the answer will be yes. Succession will be that good. People are like, I'm waiting for the first think pieces. And like, people sometimes like, is like some publication did a thing like, is Hacks good? Like, yes, Hacks is good. Is X show good? Yes, X show is good. Trust me, it's on television and people respond to it. It's so hard to put anything on TV. It's so hard to put anything on TV that anyone likes. And so like, it's a pet peeve of mine when people are like, by the way, I shit on a lot of stuff, but I do it with the underlying assumption that everybody knows that the thing I'm making fun of is obviously very good.
Wait, really? You do? What do you shit on? What do you like?
Pick a show and I'll shit on it. Go ahead. Pick any show and I'll shit on it. Pick any show.
I don't know. You know, Alex,
Pick any
I don't really watch. What?
Pick any artist. Pick any artist and I'll shit on them.
Josh Groban.
Pick any Josh Groban. Oh, that hack? That absolute. Really? Just because he's got like the face of an angel and the voice of a better angel, I should care? Just because he's the most talented human being alive, I should be okay with the fact that he sings. Okay, fine. So this isn't me shitting on Josh Groban, but you can also pick a lane, Josh Groban. Why don't you just pick a lane? Don't be doing.
Anyway, by the way, pick a lane is my favorite thing ever to say about anything.
Pick
just
a lane.
FYI. Pick a lane.
What's wrong? What are you insisting on a hyphen for? Grow up.
Pick
right?
a lane.
Just tour or play Broadway. Don't do both.
Yeah.
The only people I think should pick a lane are celebrities who have restaurants sometimes, like Kenny Rogers Roasters. I feel like he should have stayed out of chicken.
You know what? I feel like you just have to know what those things are going in, which is that they're not going to have a distinct culinary identity. No one's going to like the Kid Rock thing being like, oh boy, I hope Kid Rock's signature culinary flair has been added to this.
You're going to Kenny Rogers because you're a fan of Kenny Rogers, not because you're a fan of chicken.
Yeah. If you go to Margaritaville and you're like, this doesn't taste like Jimmy Buffett, you're just like.
What about Miss Patti LaBelle's pies? Those are incredible.
Patty's pies are good. That's why they're the exception to the rule because they're.
Excuse me. She's not in the back making them.
Okay,
I don't know that she's. I don't know that she's not. She is a really good cook, so I feel like they're really based on her recipes. At least, let me just have it, even if that's not true. But those mass-produced pies that they sell at a mass retailer discount store are fucking delicious.
Excuse me. You believing that any celebrity has anything to do with the food is like assuming Dr. Pepper went to medical school. Like it really is the most bananas.
Oh my God. This is so depressing. Did you know that we're eating and drinking roughly a credit card's worth of plastic each week?
I just found that out and I'm very upset about it.
I'm really upset about it too. It's true, guys. Because the products that we're using every day are ultimately contaminating our water supply, generating hundreds of microplastics that we end up ingesting. So thankfully, lots of, people are trying to figure it out. And Blue Land set out to do something about it by eliminating the need for single-use plastic in the products we reach for the most. Blue Land has been on a mission, is on this mission to eliminate single-use plastic by reinventing cleaning essentials to be better for you and the planet. The idea was always simple. They offer endlessly refillable cleaning products with a beautiful, cohesive design that looks great on your counter. You just fill your bottles with water, drop in the tablets, wait for them to dissolve. You never have to grab bulky cleaning supplies on your grocery run, which I have to say, having moved to New York I don't want to eat plastic. Okay, sure.
Yeah.
I want things to be better for the environment, of course. But honestly, the best thing for me is like not having to lug a bunch of cleaning supplies when I need them. I'm sorry. And store them. I have no room. And so I have these little like tablets in a drawer. And then I have my cleaning supplies. And then when my cleaning supplies are out, when my window cleaner's out, I drop a tablet in, water.
That's it.
Done.
The refills start at $2.25, which appeals to me because I am frugal and I don't like to spend a ton of money on cleaning supplies because I don't love cleaning. So I want to spend money on things that I love. And so thank you, Blue Land, for giving me back like tons of money in my pocket that I can spend on other things, and I still have effective cleaning supplies.
Also, that toilet bowl cleaner can't be beat. I'm sorry, I just can't. It's just
no.
The best.
I mean, it
actually is just the best.
The scent of the toilet bowl cleaner I would wear for a fragrance. I like it that much.
Honestly, same. Guys, guys, we say try their Clean Essentials Kit. It has everything you need to get started. 3 bottles of cleaner plus a bottle for hand soap. And it comes in beautiful light scents such as iris agave, fresh lemon, and eucalyptus mint. Blue Land has an offer just for you guys, our listeners, 15% off your first purchase of any product. To get 15% off your first order, go to blueland.com/best. You're not going to want to miss it. Blueland.com/best. That's blueland.com/best. Wild grain, nothing like fresh baked bread coming out of the oven. I love wild grain so much, you guys.
Wild grain is the one reason I need to keep my oven forever because you know what I'm going to say? Croissants.
Oh, but the rolls are so good. The pastas are amazing. The pastas have become such a staple in my house because frequently my children don't tell me that they're hungry, or they actively tell me they're not hungry until they're starving.
Right.
And then they're like, I want pasta immediately. And it's like, okay, but the fresh frozen pasta literally cooks in like 4 minutes. So I can
good.
get my hungry teenagers, I can get fresh, delicious pasta down their little throats in under 10. You know what I mean? Like, it's like a game changer, I have to say. Actually, every item bakes from frozen in 25 minutes or less.
It's very fast.
Is it crazy? Like, I know the cooking time just off the top of my head because this is how much I'm using wild grain in my own home. Because also, I have like a weird tummy when it comes to bread, but wild grain uses this slow fermentation process that is easier on your belly, lower in sugar, and rich in nutrients and antioxidants. And my kids don't know that it's like better for them. Like, because anytime I buy anything that's like whole grain, they're like, ew, I don't want it.
Right.
But wild grain, they are just eating it up.
Straight up delicious. That's all they know is that it's delicious. And by the way, love that Wild Grain donates 6 meals to the Greater Boston Food Bank for every new member. So right there, I'm a fan for life.
It's a subscription box, bake from frozen subscription box for sourdough breads, pastas, artisanal pastries, those croissants. And it's very easy to reschedule, skip, or cancel. All you do is sign up at wildgrain.com/busy, and you choose which type of box you want to receive and how often. Plus, for a limited time, you can get $30 off the first box. Plus, there are free croissants in every box, guys. Go to wildgrain.com/busy to start your subscription. You heard me. Free croissants in every box. Think of Caissie when you eat them. And $30 off your first box when you go to wildgrain.com/busy. That's wildgrain.com/busy. Or you can use promo code busy at the checkout. Wait, I have more questions for you, Alex.
Please go off.
I will.
You better.
The bath.
Oh, God, busy. Not the bath.
I need to know what kind of tub you've got going, because that's also like...
It's attached to the wall, I'll tell you that much.
So is it a shower or is it a separate tub?
It's a shower. It's also a shower. Oh, I'm sorry. Busy's expression right now is giving me upper middle class vibes.
No, it's not. It's just well, first of all, obviously.
I'm sorry,
and
my staff has the week off. I'm gonna have to.
Secondly, a bath and a shower tub is like never gonna be as satisfying as a standalone tub.
Yes, I don't live in a Soho house, like I can't afford standalone tub money yet. Maybe after my Broadway run. How about that? After my Broadway run, I'll invest in a giant claw-footed Houdini bathtub.
Although I hope he doesn't mind me saying this, but when Lin-Manuel Miranda was in Hamilton, he sent out a message to like friends on social media saying, does anyone have an apartment near the theater where I can take a bath between shows? So I hope he doesn't mind me saying that. But even Lin-Manuel didn't get didn't get a bath immediately after being a hit on Broadway.
Wow.
Who's Lin-Manuel Miranda? No, I was kidding. I love Lin. Has Lin been on the podcast?
He hasn't, but he should be. He's such a sweetheart. I love that guy.
I know Natalie Morales has been on the podcast because
she sure has.
Oh my God, I love that episode. She's so fucking good.
She's so good, and her story was so great.
Her story was fucking crazy.
Her story is crazy. Go back and review the Natalie Morales episode if you haven't, because we always ask people about pivots, and her pivot is like the most wild pivot of anyone.
And I've known her for a long time. I didn't know it. And I didn't see it coming.
Yeah.
I was like, what? What are you talking? What? It was crazy. Anyway.
Alex, I have one more question about the bath, and I'm sorry because I feel like you want to get off the bath. But my question is, it seems like you hate baths. So why are you doing it?
Yeah.
Maybe it will calm me down. I'm like, look, I know I shouldn't say this. Like, this is terrifying. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to do a good job because comedians go out there and do a good job. But like, this is a huge deal for me. Like, I'm doing a show on Broadway, and I'm coming in after A Doll's House and Plaza Suite, both of which have star huge megastars. And I'm coming in before Sondheim's Merrily We Roll Along, which has Daniel Radcliffe at the center of it. And so like, it's a lot for a guy who, not too long ago was, playing to like 200 people in a theater on a good night. This is like almost 1,000 seats. So, some days I feel like 1,000 mice in a human costume. It's just like, where I'm like, oh God, how am I going to do this? And also, I don't want to make this the focus of our thing, but like my director died a month ago. My director was my best friend. And we can talk about it. But let's not make the whole thing about it. But
I was like not going to bring it up because you and I have talked about how you're doing so many interviews for this, and obviously like people are bringing it up, and
it's okay. I mean, it would be a lie of omission to not talk about it, given how this guy I've done all of my solo shows with. His name was Adam Brace. He was 43 years old. He had he died very suddenly. And I'm so sad. So I'm balancing these twin things where like, on one hand, it's the best week of my life. And on the other hand, his funeral was very recently, in the matter of the last it was 2-3 days ago. So I had to fly to England for the funeral. And then I got back here, and less than a week later, you're opening a show on Broadway. So it's a very...
And the show that like you did with him.
A show that we built together at a table over, I had a Coca-Cola, he had a beer, and we sat there, and I told him things, and he laughed at some of them, and what he laughed at I'd write down, and then I go, what should I, and then he would ask more questions, and I'd offer more jokes, and he had this big, big, big laugh, and you really knew when you made him laugh. So it's a depressing, so that's depressing, but also there are some moments where I could see it from different angles, right? Like there's some moments I'm like, well, this run is going to be in honor of him. And then some days it doesn't really feel like that. It feels silly to be doing it without him. And I think the truth of it probably is that this is nice for the work, if that makes sense. This is nice. This is a nice culmination of the work that we both loved and did together. And this is the highest achievement possible for the work. And so I felt very warmly towards people who have told me that they're coming to see the show in a way that I don't usually do, not just because it helps defray my anxiety a little bit, but also because, they're going to be seeing Adam's work in the most sort of gorgeous, salubrious environment that it might ever be staged in. So I feel a real warmth around that. But yeah, a lot of conflicting emotions, very isolating in many ways. I've been leaning on my friends a little bit, busy, and I've had several chats about this. And yeah, it's been, I like sobbed my way through an interview with the New York Times, which is not what I wanted to do. But yeah, it's been a very raw experience. I'm almost shocked by the magnitude of of the feelings that I'm sort of going through.
Yeah, there's no way you could be ready for it. It's a totally, well, I'm mourning a loss in my life as well, and I'm surprised at how much space and time it takes up. There's no playbook for that. And then you're also bringing it to this totally unique experience that you have never lived and almost nobody has ever. So, of course, things are happening that you're not expecting. That doesn't surprise me. But do you feel like it'll affect your performance tomorrow night?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to throw everything into it. I'm going to people ask a lot. People used to ask when you start comedy, but people ask a lot now, which is like, do you get nervous up there? And Busy, I'm sure you felt this way with your television show. I'm sure you feel this way when I've gone to see you do readings, book events. I saw you do that at that theater at the Bootleg. Remember that theater? And
I kind of, with Adam Scott.
Yeah. Like, I'm sure you feel this before you do live stuff, but there's a moment where your butterflies in your stomach kind of come out your mouth or just move into the back of your body, and you're driven by that anxiety. And you go out there and then you get your first positive response from the audience, and you're like, okay, we're on the ride. And so I'm going to have a lot of my stomach, but also I can do this. I definitely can do this. Like, I've done it.
Of course you can do it. How many times have you done the show?
Oh, Busy, I love you.
I'm sorry I'm crying.
Don't be sorry you're crying. You're very empathetic, and just in the interest of partial disclosure, Busy has been really, really sweet. Oh, Busy, I love you. I love you. Right.
I'm really, obviously, everybody that is friends with you and knows you is so fucking proud and excited for you, but also just like, it's the thing that like we talked about last week on the podcast with our guests, like, I don't know, man, having the two things always hand in hand, like right up against each other, like grief and the greatest joy. And it's like,
no one tells you that about being an adult. No one tells you that. No one tells you that there's no free lunch. Nothing is perfect. No one lives a life that is free of complication. There's a word, another Hebraic word, surus, which is like heartache, pain, trouble. I guess it's trouble. And everyone's got their own surus. And you never, whether you're like Jennifer Lawrence or, or someone who picks trash up by the side of the road. I'm not saying one person's problems are bigger than the other. Jennifer Lawrence probably isn't the one with the bigger problems, but like, it's possible that your brain has got the same level of, your brain is devoting the same amount of space to it. So everyone's got their own problems, and no one lives a life that is free of anxiety. I'd love to meet the person. Maybe Bill Gates. Maybe Bill Gates is a life free of anxiety. I don't know.
Listen, I want to say something. My therapist said to me last week, because I was like, I am fascinated by the idea that like, Alex, there are people that live, and she's like, no, I think some people don't have it. Like they just sort of exist, and that's fucking wild to me. But I think most creative people have
Don't you wish sometimes that you were, for lack of a better word, don't you wish you were just like a freaking
dumber?
Idiot? Yeah, don't you wish, like, you were like a Disney adult? Like, you know what I mean?
Well,
like,
I am also kind of a Disney adult.
Well, okay. I love Disney, and I will be a Disney adult. I will be a Disney parent. But what I mean is, like, don't you wish you were someone who would have their wedding at Disney World and never be troubled by the sort of like, just someone who derives their primary joy from something and just doesn't care and lives a happy, blithe life.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone who listens to this podcast who is no offense if you're like, that's me, that's not you. You're not a Disney adult. You like may enjoy Disney, you may go to Disneyland, 300 times a year, but there are people whose entire life is their Mickey t-shirt. And that is
sometimes I think people that live like that, I think it's because they're deferring so much pain. And so they're channeling like this is a steady, consistent stream of joy that I can count on.
I mean, I think there's something beautiful about that. Isn't there?
Yes. I mean, it's why we love McDonald's. You know what I mean? Like, it's similar everywhere you go, and it's like fucking there for you in a way that you wish people in your life maybe could be, but
I have never eaten McDonald's.
Oh my gosh.
Do you keep kosher still?
Kosher style, but I didn't grow up with McDonald's. So
of course
I
not.
don't like McDonald's, and I don't like Caissie. That's the thing. I don't like that. I won't eat. I don't eat chains. I like Dishoom in England, I guess, is kind of a chain, but every restaurant is delicious. I don't. Every swing is a swing for the fences with me. I don't like to waste meals.
I love that. I love that for you. But I do think people that tend to gravitate toward things like that are people that are looking for to bring some consistency into their life because they've never had that for whatever reason.
And that's comfort, right? It's consistency and comfort.
But even though it's an illusion of consistency and comfort, by the way.
1,000%. But what I mean is, I think that I think there is a secret to modern life. I genuinely believe I know this secret. Doesn't mean I know how to achieve it, but I think the secret is, and we've lost a lot of this, but the more you invest into something, the more you get out of it. Truly, if you invest a lot in your relationships, in your job, in your passions, in your pursuits, in your hobbies, in your meals, the more you're going to get out of it.
Yeah.
And which isn't to say that people who go to McDonald's aren't investing a lot. I'm just I just can't imagine a life where you're not investing a lot of effort into being alive. Does this make any sense?
It makes sense. And I think when you're saying that, I just want to clarify, because I think when you say investing a lot into your work, or you're not saying you're going to get $1 million out of it.
Right.
You're saying you're going to get things out of it that are way beyond what you're imagining as you're investing time.
You're going to get connection.
Right.
I think the opposite of pain isn't happiness. The opposite of pain is connection. The opposite of loneliness isn't, opposite of loneliness is connection also. I think forming a connection with yourself, with other people, is the key to surviving what is frankly a very lonely world. We have a very lonely, extremely lonely existence. And some people are and when I say dumb, I'm being glib, but what I wish sometimes is that people who sometimes I wish I didn't need to be a person who invests so much, because even though I do think it's the key to happiness, it's exhausting, right? It's exhausting to be constantly investing in everything you're doing.
Well,
and so,
yeah, we talk about
maybe
that.
you wish you weren't, maybe when you say dumb, does it mean that you wish you weren't perceptive enough to notice that you were feeling lonely or disconnected?
It's a bit self-aggrandizing, right? To be like, God, I wish I were dumb, instead of being because the implication there is that I'm smart. I'm smart. I wish I wasn't so smart. No, I wish, what I'm saying is, Adam was a big fan of this football coach, Bruce Arians. He wasn't Adam was not a fan of football, American football. Adam was British. But Bruce Arians used to, I don't even know if I'm saying his name right, but I think I am. Bruce Arians used to say, no risk it, no biscuit. And Adam loved that. And I feel that way about everything. No risk it, no biscuit. And so I am jealous, I guess, of people who never feel the need to risk it. Sometimes people are like, why did you go to that meeting? It's the number one question I get asked. Why'd you go to that meeting? I'm like, no risk it, no biscuit. You have to risk everything all the time. Every so often, you just have to put something on the line. And so I really feel like that's a good way to be happy. Is to occasionally put yourself on the line, hoping that stuff is going to, hoping that you're going to get something out of it instead of getting punched in the face. And so Oh no,
But
maybe
also
the
even
listeners
getting
are like,
punched
"What
in
the
the face.
That's exactly how I feel. Even getting punched in the face is something. That's some biscuit. It's biscuit.
That's connection.
It's connection for
It's
sure.
physical connect. It's connection with the right side of your jaw, huh? But like, maybe your listeners are listening and being like, "This guy is this guy's a pompous, smug asshole." But like, I really do think that
I don't think that's true. I think that probably almost everyone to a person listening can identify with what you're saying, even if it's not something that they do all the time, even if it's something that they wish they could start doing more. I wanted to say something to you because when you were talking about being nervous about the show, you were saying it's a show like this big show's been in the theater and huge stars have been coming. And now there's going to be a show after where there are huge stars. And so it's just me in the middle and I have to fill this 1,000-seat theater. And I think this goes along with what you've been saying, but I'd like to just point out that like, while you might not be as famous right now as you hope to one day be, you are 100% definitely a star right now. Like you're already a star.
Well, it's really nice. And no, it is. It's really nice. It's not about, I do believe it's nice to do work that is appreciated, right? Like this work is definitely appreciated. It's why it's getting there. It's just like, I'm so much happier when I'm not worrying about external things.
Yeah.
And this thing is so external. And like, look, obviously I'm saying this on a podcast. Like you said, people listening to this are very concerned with interiors. Otherwise they wouldn't be, 50 minutes into a podcast about that is largely concerned
50,
with
honey, this is 2 hours in. We're 2 hours in.
Oh, that's right. I know you guys do I know that's right. By the way, if I'm being honest, sometimes I'm like, an hour and 40 minutes into your 3-hour podcast, I'll be like, all right, I'm done. Like, I really do appreciate it.
We know we talk about it ourselves. A lot of people listen to it throughout the week. They break it down in installments.
Sure,
so
I've done that. I like to do is listen to it on bike rides, which is dangerous, or on airplanes, which is less dangerous. But but I listen to it on airplanes while I like fiddle around with Sudoku or something like that, or the New York Times crossword. But also part of me is stressing about part of me thinks I just need something to stress about. Like the show is not, I wouldn't say the show is done, but like I've done the show 300 plus times. And the show changes every night because it's like, it's not like I'm reading from a script. I'm telling a story. So like if you're telling the same story and it's an hour and 20 minutes, you're going to change some things about the story, even if you have to, like, imagine every night you went to a party and someone's like, tell your story, and you told your story, you tell it different every single night, even though it's like, that's
my
really
favorite. Did you ever see 6 Degrees of Separation?
No.
The John Guare play?
No.
Well, it's also a movie that Will Smith, it was like,
in a very funny way. But
wait, who did? Me?
You did. Yeah.
Guys,
Wait, tell me about this play. I just interrupted you, and I really want to hear about what's going on. Tell me.
I was just going to say I have no poker face, which is the thing that I just brought up the other day with someone. I like literally have no poker face. Anyway, I said it to Jenny Connor, and she said in response, and what I heard was, I know, that's why you live alone. That's not what she said. What she said is, I know, it's because you live out loud.
Oh my gosh.
How fucking crazy that I heard, I know, that's why you live alone. Wow.
That is
anyway. Intense.
It's a spicy meatball.
It's intense. Let's dig into that. Anyway, no, 6 Degrees of Separation is the fucking best. But it's a play by John Guare. Stockard Channing originated the role on Broadway. I think won the Tony for it, right?
Oh, I don't know.
They did a revival of it a couple of years ago, but the movie
look
version
it up right now.
Wait, I can't believe you haven't watched the movie. It's Will Smith's first dramatic acting role.
What? Will Smith has been in dramas? No, sorry. I'm teasing. 90s adaptation of a stage play. 2013? It's from 1993?
Yes.
What is this?
You got to watch it. You're going to love it, Alex. Did you read that poem I sent you?
Yes.
The long form poem?
Yes, I love that poem.
It was good.
I read a poem out at Adam's funeral that I thought was just the coolest poem in the world because Adam was a really judgmental, in like a really good way. He was very particular. He had great taste. And so there's this poem called The Book of My Enemy, which is about, and the first line of the poem is, the book of my enemy has been remaindered, and I am glad. Like when the books being remaindered is when they just can't sell the books. They send them to discount shops. And,
Caissie and I know.
Oh my God. And so, hold on. Do you want to hear some of the poem?
Yeah, I really do.
You think so? I'm not going to whole ass it, but I'm not going to half ass it. Let me see the book.
3/4 of an ass. Who wrote it?
It's by a guy named Clive James, who is a British sort of national treasure.
Okay.
And if you're listening, a book being remaindered is when. And once I asked Adam, why do we like this poem so much? And he went, because it's about the work of the people we don't respect. All right, here we go. The book of my enemy has been remaindered, and I am pleased. In vast quantities it has been remaindered, like a vanload of counterfeit that has been seized, and sits in piles in a police warehouse. My enemy's much praised effort sits in piles in the kind of bookshop where remaindering occurs. Great square stacks of rejected books, and between them aisles. One passes down reflecting on life's vanities, pausing to remember all those thoughtful reviews lavished to no avail upon one's enemy's book. For behold, here is that book, among these ranks and banks of duds, these ponderous and seemingly irreducible cairns of complete stiffs. The book of my enemy has been remaindered, and I rejoice. It has gone with bowed head like a defeated legion beneath the yoke. What avail him now his awards and prizes, the praise expended upon his meticulous technique, his individual new voice? Knocked into the middle of next week. His brainchild now consorts with the bad buys, the sinkers, clinkers, dogs, and dreads, the Edsels of the world of movable type, the bummers that no amount of hype could shift, the unbudgeable turkeys. Yea, his slim volume with its understated wrapper bathes in the blare of the brightly jacketed Hitler's war machine. His unmistakably individual new voice shares the same scrapyard with a forlorn skyscraper of the Kung Fu Cookbook. His honesty, proclaimed by himself and believed by others, his renowned abhorrence of all posturing and pretense, is there with pertwees, promenades, and parrots, 100 years of seaside entertainment. And, oh, this above all, his sensibility, and its hair like filaments, his delicate, quivering sensibility is now as one with Barbara Windsor's Book of Boobs, a volume graced by the descriptive rubric, my boobs will give everyone hours of fun. Soon now, a book of mine could be remaindered also, though not to the monumental extent in which the chastisement of remaindering has been meted out to the book of my enemy, since in the case of my own book, it will be due to a miscalculated print run, a marketing error, nothing to do with merit. But just supposing that such an event should hold some slight element of sadness, it will be offset by the memory of this sweet moment. Chill the champagne and polish the crystal goblets. The book of my enemy has been remaindered, and I am glad.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Sorry to read a whole ass poem in front of your listenership.
In front of us.
I mean, it's a cool
you know how much I
poem.
love fucking poetry.
I know you do. We talk about this, but isn't that a delightfully bitchy little poem?
That is a good bitchy pity.
Caissie and I also
poem.
talk about enemies.
Schadenfreude.
Yes. Do you feel like you have enemies?
I think there's some people who don't wish me well and probably talk badly about me behind my back, but I don't know that. I feel like an enemy is such a strong, I'm on good terms with everyone I've ever dated.
Wow.
Which I think is a nice thing. They all,
that is great.
They've all, in some ways, deeply cared for me and have been very, formative. So I think that that's good.
I used to be, but then there are a couple that I can't. It's not happening.
There are people who've treated me shitty and that I
That's
wouldn't
what I
want to be
mean.
trapped in an elevator with. I'll tell you that much. But
I just
the
feel
word
like
enemy, like Inigo Montoya feels like it feels like an enemy type thing.
Right. It's interesting. I always feel like I don't really have enemies, and it kind of bums me out because I wish that I did. I wish that I felt like I was doing something consequential enough or controversial enough to have an enemy. But when I do have people that, what is it when like someone's your enemy, but you're not important enough to be theirs? What do you call that?
I mean, that's still, again, it's a one-sided enemyship. But the other thing, Caissie, is that do you really believe that if you I think an enemy is someone with whom you can't sit down and clear the air with. And I don't know how many people of that, I have. I mean, there are some people, I'm sure, where to do that would entail much more risk than you would want, either risk to your reputation or risk to your, you'd risk a greater misunderstanding. But I feel like lots of enemy ships are where someone has asked another person for something they physically can't provide them or mentally can't provide them. And that person came up short, and there's a deep amount of shame on both sides. One, at having asked for something the other person can't provide or not being able to provide. And so instead of clearing the air, someone does something that is nearly unforgivable or does something that one person perceives as unforgivable, and that's how you wind up with an enemy, right? Like in polite society, that's usually, I think, how we wind up with. Am I way off base here?
I'm just trying to think if I really have any enemies. Like, I don't know if I do.
There are a few people in my life who I think have been determined to not give me the benefit of the doubt, and have done it to such an extent that they are not positive presences in my life.
Right.
So that counts, right? Someone who goes, "Wow, you must be doing X, Y, and Z if you're doing X, Y." If you're doing X, then you must be, you must be like, then you must have a bad motivation for that. I think a lot of the times where I felt hurt is when people have seen me as something other than like Alex. Like where people have seen me, they're just like, "Oh, you must want that because you're just a blob of ambition or desire or aggression or any things that you don't really feel about yourself." That is, I'm sorry, I don't know why I'm trying to
bitch
drill down on
contains
different...
multitudes, Alex, and you definitely contain multitudes.
Oh, am I a bitch? Am I a bathtub
No, I'm
bitch?
just saying, I say that about myself. A bitch contains multitudes.
A bitch contains multitudes.
That was like the famous thing from, I mean, was it Shantira that said it
Is
first
this more
about me?
pop culture stuff I just don't know?
No,
I mean, it's like stuff between us.
between
I think,
us.
yes.
It's our culture.
It's our culture. Like we had a podcast t-shirt that said "A bitch contains multitudes."
What? How do I not know this?
If you want one, we can probably dig one up and get one for you.
I would absolutely love that to wear around the theater.
I think it would be cute.
I think it'd be cute too.
Busy. I need something from, you said you were going to paint me something to put in my.
Okay, what's so weird is that you didn't respond to me when I texted you, because I saw your story saying like, you're like, I need some like art for the walls. And I was like, that was what I was going to give you.
Well,
was a painting.
Still want it. I desperately want art. And it's so funny. People are like, you can buy art from my friend. And I'm like, I have a lot of art. I just want art from people that I love.
Oh.
So
well,
yes, busy. I want the art so I can put it up on my wall.
You do want the art? Okay.
Desperately.
Well, I'll have, I'm not, I'm in LA right now.
I know.
I'm coming back for your opening night.
I know. You can give it to me at opening night. You can give it to me on the red carpet. I'll put it up on my, I don't fucking know.
That feels weird. Should I just I can just have my assistant drop it off at the theater.
Fine. Sure. Whatever you want. I just want to be surrounded by the art of people. It's so funny. I have friends who are like, well, it's not going to be very good. And I'm like, it doesn't need to be good. It just needs to be from people that I love, Like I just want to put it up. So
I was going to paint you something new too.
What? Legit?
I was.
Oh my God, please paint me something. Can I have one as a loan until you paint me something new, and then I can have that as a...
Do you understand how many paintings I have at this moment in my life? How much painting I've been doing?
I don't. You occasionally talk about it on the podcast.
Do I?
Pottery, painting, a little bit, yeah.
Yeah,
pottery, painting. I'm a
pottery head. I'm going to try to sell my pottery at the merch stand.
Yeah.
On Broadway and give like a big chunk of the money to Broadway Cares.
Yes. I would buy your pottery.
But also,
it's going to be insanely expensive. I'm gonna do the thing where it's just like one pot for 10 grand, so that we don't have to like do the one pot. Rich person comes in, is like, I want to give 10 grand to Broadway Cares, and there you go. And like that's the.
Is it going to be me? Is it me? It's probably
What?
Jessica Seinfeld. She's going to buy it. She's going to be the one.
I fucking love Jessica Seinfeld. I will not put up with any Jessica Seinfeld slander ever. Has she been on the pod?
She hasn't. She
could be. She
but
should be.
We would love to have her.
Everyone that you've asked, have they been on the pod? No. The answer is no.
Has God been on the pod? I'm sorry.
He's here every week.
Every week. Wait. By the way, that wasn't slander. I'm just saying she's like a supporter, and she's a person that would be like, yeah, sure.
I took it kind of like you were worried that Jessica was going to scoop you on buying Alex's one pod
for $10,000.
But also, it's for a good cause, so you were cool with it and you like her.
If anyone listening to the podcast wants to spend 4 figures on a pot, you can DM me and I will make you a pot. But the money is going to charity.
Wait, listen. I'm about to launch my pig pots.
Wait, I'm sorry?
Have I not sent you these? I'll send you a picture of them.
She's been making pottery that's pig-faced pottery. I think it's heavily Miss Piggy influenced, if you don't mind my saying.
Everything in my life, I am Miss Piggy. You understand.
What do you mean everything in your life you're Miss Piggy? That's some real...
No, I'm obsessed with Miss Piggy. And
she's a feminist icon.
She's a feminist icon. She heavily influenced my life as a child and growing up. The scene between her and Joan Rivers in Muppets Take Manhattan is iconic, and in a way was when I first really knew that this was going to be my career path. I was 6 years old or 5.
What? That is such a... I mean, by the way, one of my favorite songs, period, is Rainbow Connection.
Yeah, me too.
I
have sung it live.
Really? Where? Did you sing it in LA at something?
Yeah. I can't remember now.
I remember this. I opened for a band called Guster, which is my favorite band growing up.
Of all
the most
time.
Incredible band.
You love Guster.
I love Guster. I opened for them at Carnegie Hall and they closed the concert by singing Rainbow Connection. And I was levitating. Also, they let me sing a song with them on stage. So the first and last time I've ever performed live was on stage at Carnegie Hall, which is fucking sick.
Wow.
It was so, sung live, performed live. Hopefully I'll be doing a good amount of that this summer. But yeah, I truly sometimes feel like I got into this just a little bit as kind of, fantasy camp. I was a big comedy fan. And so I was like, I'll do comedies and be a comedian for a day. But instead of a day, it's just a life. It's just do you know what I mean? When people pay $1,000 to go to a racetrack.
Yeah.
And so I would do this for free, which is a dirty secret because I won't do it for free anymore. People ask me all the time for events and stuff like that. And actually I charge a very decent amount because it turns out it's a good way to make a living. But also I can't be selling these pots. I can't be living off my pot money off my ceramics money.
But this is my exit strategy, Alex.
Oh God, it is. You're too talented a writer, actor, and hyphenate for.
But it kind of goes back to what you were saying about it would be enough to I think that's, yes, I think what you're saying is really smart. You're doing it because you love it and because it was that kind of dream, not a dream to become rich and famous. But loving it is what makes you good at it.
It really is. There's nothing like being... I've read a bunch of Malcolm Gladwell-y type things about the flow.
Yeah.
You feel it. You felt it in a writer's room, Caissie.
100.
You felt it on when you're writing or in a talk or acting, right? You're just oh, I can do this. I can do this. I'm doing it. It's happening. I'm loving it. I'm at work and really, really pleased. It's a really special, well, my computer just dinged with a message from Busy Phillips. What is this?
Some pig pots.
Oh my God. These are terrifying.
I know.
They're gorgeous. Oh, wait. Please tell me that these snouts go into the pot and you can pour
something out of it?
Yes.
Well, Alex, no, because what I was going to do is plant them with succulents so that they can be succulent pigs.
I have to applaud that. I have to literally. That truly is so stupid that it goes right. I love it so much. I thought of I thought of a joke the other day, which, by the way, someone told me they'd seen it before, or the type of joke.
Oh, God, isn't that the fucking worst?
Oh, my God. It's frustrating. This guy goes up to Don Quixote at a party. He's like, hey, are you Don Quixote? And Don Quixote goes, I am indeed. And the guy says, I'm a huge fan. And Don Quixote goes, I'm sorry, you're a what?
I have seen that joke before. Not to be the worst, but maybe it was, I don't know. Did you like put it on social media? Did you?
I didn't put it on social media. I just told it to someone and they're like, I've heard that before. And I was like, what? No, please.
I did see it on social media. But you know what I hate? When you make a joke, and I'm sure this has happened to you, Alex, you make a joke and you're like, that's a pretty solid joke. And then someone's like, hey, great minds think alike. And then they show you another joke that mentions like one word in common and it's not at all the same joke. And you're like, that mine was better. But then you have to be like, oh, good one to that person.
I mean, it truly does feel that way in terms of like, also, by the way, whenever you think of a joke that's a one-liner now, people are just like, seen it,
Yeah.
done it.
Yes.
Like,
But it's like the same thing. It's like, I was just talking about this with Jenny the other day. It's like, there's only fucking 8 stories, guys. Like we're every joke's been said. You know, Ants and A Bug's Life came out months apart. Those movies took years to make. It's the same
30
fucking
Rock,
movie.
Studio 60.
I'm just saying.
But you know, the thing is like there is a, so do you know who Von Meter is?
I don't think so.
Von Meter was America's most popular comedian for about 5 years. And it wasn't close. He was the biggest comic in the country.
Is this like in like the 50s?
In the 50s and 60s. But Von Meter's career ended on one specific day, which was a summer afternoon it was November 22nd, 1963. That's when Von Meter's career ended. Because that was the day of the Kennedy assassination, because Von Meter did an impression of Kennedy, and everyone's, and if you're like, not my parents, please go check with your parents. They have an album called The First Family, which is a Von Meter vinyl that was the best-selling comedy album of its generation. It was a series of impressions of the Kennedy family.
Wow.
And so Von Meter found out, by the way, in the worst way. He got into a taxi cab somewhere, and he got into a taxi cab, and the cab driver did a double take. He was leaving an airport, and he said, "Did you hear about Kennedy?" And Von Meter said, "Buddy, I know all the ones about Kennedy," because he thought it was a Kennedy joke. But so Lenny Bruce gets on stage that night in San Francisco. The story goes, and the audience is dead quiet because most people have canceled their shows, and Lenny Bruce just leans into the microphone. He just goes, "Poor Von Meter." It's a great joke, right? It's one of the most famous riffs in the history of comedy.
Yeah.
And you know what? If, God forbid, if God forbid the Kennedy assassination had happened today, there would have been 500 people all tweeting "Poor Von Meter." Von Meter's name would have trended. Right. People would be
100%.
tweeting a variation of this joke, which is like a famous example of in the moment wit from one of the greatest legends to ever do comedy. And so I do think that, like, obviously that's a hypothetical, that's a thought experiment, but it does underscore how different and difficult our jobs have become as comedians in terms
100.
of like, you write something that you think is like a nice little joke about like Don Quixote and windmills, and people are like, yeah, I've seen that before.
Heard it.
Because like huge fan, windmills, Don Quixote, like it's not that much of a jump, but like the joy of constructing something that stupid and that like recessed, right? Like technically that's a very recessed punchline. You need to know that windmills are huge fans. You need to know that Don Quixote attacks windmills in the book. Like the joke here is really Don Quixote's sort of like being like, "I'm sorry, you're a what?" Like the expression. The idea that Don Quixote hates windmills is the joke, obviously. But like, the world has changed. The world is very different now, and it's much harder to do I think it's harder to do comedy that isn't like hyper specific, which is why I do a pretty specific brand of comedy. So.
Right, your comedy is very personal.
Oh, it's personal and very stupid and also smart at the same time. Like, that's what I aim for. I love that type of, but it's very personal because part of it, like, I went into an open mic once in the middle of the country somewhere. I was visiting my brother who was living, and I watched a guy do
The Olympian brother?
Your brother, the Olympian?
No, this is my other brother, Austin, who's an engineer who was an engineer in Utah at the time. And I walked into an open mic and watched a comedian do my joke word for word. It was surreal. It was actually kind of cool.
Whoa.
And then he got off stage and I walked up to him and I went, hey. And the guy just went, oh, wow. And he was like, what are you doing in X city? And I was like, visiting my brother. And he's like, wow, I can't believe you're here. And I said, you're butchering this joke.
Oh my God.
Like, I didn't love the delivery. I gotta tell you.
That's exactly what I
love
said. People have asked me if I want to license my solo show, by the way, because solo shows go to Broadway sometimes. I was like, I would love to see someone else do my solo show so much.
Oh my God, kids in high schools will be doing it.
Wait, by the way, also though, Alex, like I need a high school kid to do at least a part of your show as like a monologue.
I would absolutely die. I think that would be the coolest thing in the world. And I also want to see like a non-Jew, not white, not male do it. I want to see, like, I said to my agents, I said, can we have one night performance where like it's people reading it out of binders and it's like Busy, Josh Groban, Cynthia Erivo, like Richard Kind, like various people who are not. Oh my God, it would be so much fun. We do it for charity. Everything cool I want to do for charity, just because I can't imagine ever doing something this silly, like selling pottery or doing whatever for.
Okay, well, my pig pots, I'm keeping the proceeds, but whatever, it's fine. You do you.
Well, it's your off ramp. You said for show business. We should let you go, Alex.
I know we have to let you go, Alex.
You got to get to your bath.
You got to get. Well, he's gonna go to his friend's house first,
right?
And then he's gonna take the bath.
I can't thank you enough for having me, and also if you're listening still, thank you so much for listening to this. If you're a listener on the podcast, I really do love to be on podcasts that I actually listen to. So it's very rare. And also, Bill Simmons will not return my calls. So this is
whatever.
I have the weirdest taste in podcasts. I listen to like 2 history podcasts, a couple comedy podcasts, a wellness podcast. And
what's the wellness podcast?
I listen to Tori Deal's podcast because it's so short. It's like 20 minutes. I listen to it sometimes.
Oh my gosh. Well, I highly recommend Maintenance Phase if you like just add that one to your
Maintenance
roster.
Phase is really good.
I also love Welcome to Night Vale, which Busy was a You didn't do that one?
Thrilling Adventure, often
that's what I meant.
Interchanged. Yeah, often interchanged. But yeah.
Which we talk about this
we
on
just
the
talked
show.
about because
part of the reason why, I'm here, I'm doing the Thrilling Adventure Hour show this weekend. The day before my birthday.
Sorry, I misremembered the podcast.
That's okay.
Yes. I do love a good fictive podcast. They're very rare. And also the New Yorker's fiction podcast, which is pretty solid. But I think in recent years I've dropped off and I like the occasional right-wing podcast to be like, God, they're crazy. God, they're so crazy.
Just be careful in case there's like, some type
you.
of... Yeah, we don't want you to get red-pilled.
I don't want you to get red-pilled.
I am very firm in my convictions. I don't... I occasionally go to, like, if you can't tell, I occasionally go to, like, crazy things. And I'm like, this is bananas. And
Do you remember when Scientology got a television channel?
What do you mean? Remember? It's still on like DirecTV.
But like when it first came out, everyone at my job at the time put it on for a joke to like watch it, and then I noticed how much people were looking at it, and I went around and turned it off on. So that's just where I'm coming from.
I am not susceptible. Like it's one of the like I have this weird gene where I'm just like I can be swayed in person, but but it needs to happen. I need to hear a good point 4 times and like it 4 times from 4 different sources to take it on.
Okay. All right.
That's from the Talmud. I'm very like, I need to, because you might be swayed by charisma and that's dangerous.
Yeah.
So like, I'm not, I'm a big fan of doubt. Like Stephen Fry, who's my favorite human being.
Yes.
likes to quote this. I think it's George Bernard Shaw. Hold on, I'm looking it up. No, it's Yeats. It's Yeats. It's the best lack all conviction. Well, the best lack all conviction. Yeah, I'm sorry. That's right. This is a quote from Yeats, W.B. Yeats. It's called the best, and the quote is, "The best lack all conviction, while the worst are full of passionate intensity." And I'm a big fan of those who lack all conviction because, like, yeah, I get a lot of doubt, but I'm not. Whenever I listen to my right-wing podcast, I'm always like, God, these people are nuts.
What do you think is going to happen? I mean, this is like, we really do have to let you go because you really do have a life and a Broadway show to open.
And we could just hog you all day. But
I could just talk to you forever. But like, what do you think? I know you had like a really weird performance in Boston with some like white supremacy ladies. What? I mean, like, are you concerned at all in the Broadway show? I mean, also like, I was just so shocked when Parade opened and there were those like Nazis that showed up.
Yeah, but they're losers, these people. That's the one
no
thing
shit, Alex, obviously.
These people are losers. We used to have such great anti-Semites. You know, we'd have like Walt Disney or Henry Ford. And now our anti-Semites are like, you know, rappers past their prime or athletes who wilt in the playoffs. Like, we don't really have great anti-Semites the way that we used to. So I'm not that concerned. I am like a little concerned, but we'll see. We'll see how it feels. So, all right, let me go.
Always.
Have a good bath. Break all the legs in your debut, and I can't wait to see it.
I'll see you on your opening night.
Thank you, Biz. I'm so excited.
And everybody get tickets to go see Alex. You have never let me down. Whatever type of show I've seen you do has always been outstanding. So,
and the show is called Just for Us, and it opens tomorrow. And then when does it run through? The summer?
Through August 19th.
August 19th, guys.
So
you got to get
limited window. You got to get in there.
Into it. You got a window.
9 weeks.
August 19th is the day that I leave my child at school in Sweden.
Oh my God, this is. Oh gosh. All right, I love you.
We'll talk to you soon, and thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us.
Are you kidding? I love it. I'm so happy to be asked.
I'll see you Monday.
See you Monday.
Bye.
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 Oh my God, Caissie, you know I've been traveling, so you know what I'm about to say about my mattress.
It's not a Helix, and you're missing it.
It's not my Helix, and I miss it. And I truly am like, do I just order a Helix mattress for the next couple weeks that I'm here? No, busy. Don't be crazy. But I kind of want to. If I had unlimited funds, I would.
Oh my gosh. I'll invite you over to my house for a nap if you need.
I would love to come lie down on the Helix mattress. Guys, you understand that we have had our lives changed by good mattresses.
It makes a huge difference. And then it's such a part of your life that you wouldn't even notice until you're without it.
Oh and my God, like I am right now
my heart
without my Helix. And I miss her. I miss her firmness, her support, her love of me, her cradling me perfectly as I sleep. Helix is an amazing mattress brand because they offer 20 unique mattresses, including the award-winning Luxe Collection, the newly released Helix Elite Collection. They have a mattress designed for big and tall sleepers and even a mattress just for kids, which is great. How do you know which one you're going to order? Because you take the Helix Sleep Quiz and you find out what your perfect mattress is, and it takes under 2 minutes. And then your personalized mattress is shipped straight to your door, free of charge. Helix knows that there's no better way to test out a new mattress than by sleeping on it in your own home. You can go to a mattress store all you want, guys. I'm here to tell you, until you sleep on a mattress for 30 days at least, you are not going to know.
You don't know. Same as a boyfriend.
That's right. That's right. And I need 90 for both. You know what I mean? And that's why Helix offers a 100-night trial and a 10 to 15-year warranty to try out your new Helix mattress. That's right. They literally 100-night trial. You call them up and you're like, guess what? After these 100 nights, I am not feeling it. It's not for me. They'll be like, we're coming to get it.
But you're not going to do that.
No, you're not. You wouldn't, because Helix has got you. Plus, they have enhanced cooling features to keep you from overheating at night.
Yes.
Models that have memory foam layers for optimal pressure if you sleep on your side. Guys, there are so many different mattresses that are just the perfect combination of comfort and support. Helix has been awarded the #1 mattress pick by GQ and Wired magazine. And it's recommended by multiple leading chiropractors and doctors of sleep medicine as a go-to solution for improving your sleep. Sometimes I think people think that I guess I just wake up a lot during the night. Change out your mattress and see what happens.
It's time.
It's time.
It's time.
It's like one of the best investments you can make, I have to say.
Agree.
And Helix is offering 20% off all mattress orders and 2 free pillows for our listeners. Go to helixsleep.com/best. This is their best offer yet, and it's not going to last long. With Helix, better sleep starts now. Oh, Foria. Guys, come on.
I feel like all of you listening could probably do the ad for us now for Foria, because you know, week after week we've been partnered with Foria and we tell you how much we love it and can't live without it. And if you haven't tried it yet, maybe this is the week.
Maybe we're talking just to you right now. Hey, you. Listen, I know your sex is, I know you have great sex with your partner. I know you guys are into it. You like it. Everything's good. But here's what I'm going to tell you. What if it could even be better? What? Wouldn't you want that for you? Wouldn't you want that for your partner? Wouldn't you want that for everyone? Wouldn't you want that for me? Would you want that for me? Because if you say no, you wouldn't want that for me.
That's mean.
That would be mean. But I want it for you. And so I'm going to recommend the Awaken Arousal Oil, the Sex Oil, because Foria uses all natural and plant-based ingredients, and their whole goal is to intensify sexual pleasure, relieve any discomfort, and, give you access to bigger and better orgasms, whether you're solo or with a partner. I've been both, guys. I've been both. And I can tell you it works.
Yeah, you're not alone. I think everyone's kind of in that place where maybe you're both right now, or maybe you're one or the other, but who wouldn't want bigger, better orgasms, especially when it's so easy?
Yes, so easy. Awaken Arousal Oil, it just helps you get very turned on.
Yeah, it uses CBD and warming sensation-inducing organic botanicals that enhance arousal, sensitivity, pleasure, get you going.
Yeah, especially if you have a vagina or you love someone that has a vagina. And we all love someone that has a vagina, guys. You know what I mean? Anyway, you have our permission, I'm talking to you right now, to try this. I fully endorse you to go ahead, treat yourself to more, deeper, fuller pleasure wherever you can find it as often as possible. You can start right now with a bottle of Foria. Foria is offering a special deal for our listeners. Get 20% off your first order by visiting foriawellness.com/best, or use the code BEST at checkout. That's Foria, FORIA, wellness.com/best for 20% off your first order. I recommend, as does Caissie, trying the Awaken Arousal Oil and the Sex Oil. You're going to thank us later. Please do. Please tag us. We want to hear. I have to pee.
Pee?
You know I have to pee.
Go pee.
Emily, do you want to talk to Caissie while I pee?
Hi, Caissie.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
Are you shy?
No, I'm hungry and I was trying to be quiet.
You were trying to make lunch? What are you trying to make?
Leftover pizza.
From the pizza party. We already talked about the pizza party the other night, and you have leftover pizza still. It was
so
good.
much leftover pizza.
I know, because it was like a kind of small party, and you got generously a lot of pizza.
They're really big pizzas.
Yeah, they are. Yeah. And I feel like at a party, everybody eats a little less than they would if they were just like home alone housing a whole pizza.
Yes, and there were a lot of snacks.
Yes. And the ice cream bar, which I bragged about. Not an ice cream bar, like a Klondike bar, like an ice cream sundae bar to make your own ice cream sundae.
Sundae extravaganza.
Oh my gosh.
Did you talk about how the ice cream scoops broke?
Oh my God, I didn't talk about that, but we broke Emily's ice cream scoop, and she was like, that's okay. It was already broken, but it wasn't. It wasn't the one that was already broken. It was one that we broke anew. So you are fresh out of ice cream scoops.
I hear what she's saying.
Uh-oh. Busy does not like this. She wants to be involved.
I don't like it.
Bye,
All right.
Caissie.
Well, this is your debut on the podcast, but you'll come back another time, I guess.
I guess I'll have to.
What?
We'll see how my story goes over. My ice cream scoop story. And my heating up pizza story. There you go.
Emily just reminded me that the kicker of the ice cream sundae bar story was that we broke her ice cream scoop because we were enthusiastically scooping ice cream so hard. And when we told her, when we admitted it.
So hard.
I didn't blame the person who had it in their hand when it broke, but she could use her deduction powers to figure out who it was. But when we told her that we broke it, she was like, oh, don't worry, it was already broken. But then we went to double check and it wasn't. She had an ice cream scoop that was already broken, and then we broke her second one. So that's what she showed us. What she would like for her birthday is an unbreakable ice cream scoop. Seems like an achievable dream.
I think we can find an unbreakable ice cream scoop.
Oh my gosh.
Feels like you should.
All right. Well, you got your sandwich. So,
I'm excited about it.
We should talk about what we're doing our best at so that you can get
also,
to your
by the way, I
sandwich.
do want to say we talked to Alex for so fucking long and we didn't ask him about a pivot, but I do, just in the interest of me knowing him, I think that this death, like the death of his best friend and director, has been the biggest pivot that he's been handed currently. He's
100%.
currently in it.
Yes, I considered that a pretty big pivot that he just shared generously because we weren't really going to ask him about it. But then he brought it up because he's right. It would be weird not to bring it up. But also, I don't want to ever make anyone feel any pain that they're...
Well, it's also like interesting too when you talk to people, when I talk to people that I know personally, like on this podcast, sometimes it's tricky because you kind of like I need to continue to just speak in I sentences. Like, I don't want to presume that everything that we've ever discussed is like a thing that I can just bring up on this podcast, right? So like, yeah, I mean, Michelle was on here or just now with Alex. Like, I didn't want to bring up because he has said how hard how difficult the promotion of the show going to Broadway has been because he's had to like be confronted with the grief that he's dealing with, which was so sudden and out of nowhere and really unexpected.
Right.
But has to be like sort of talked about. So I didn't want to bring it up.
Right.
Because I thought, well, we could be like the one place where he doesn't. But then I did bring it. I mean, but then he brought it up. And then, of course, I'm the one that was like crying. Of course. Guys, come on.
It makes sense. But let's talk about what we're doing our best at so you can get to your sandwich and people don't get mad that you're eating a sandwich.
You know what? I had to eat. I had to take that giant bite right before you said that.
Okay. I'll go. I will tell you, I don't want you to get mad at this person or whatever, and sorry person that I'm saying this, but like somebody wrote an email saying like, I really need you to ask Busy not to eat on the podcast because I can't. This past week's episode, I was so grossed out, and I was like, honey bunch, she didn't eat anything on this week's past episode. So you imagined it. Like you're so scared of it happening that you imagined it happening throughout hours and hours, and it didn't happen. So, which is like a weird position. And I didn't want to make the person feel like lectured to or whatever. And I don't want to now, but I'm just saying.
Well, can I be real about something?
Yeah.
Everyone has a choice.
It's true. It's true.
And
we love people listening to the podcast, so we don't want to turn anyone off.
No, I'm just saying, but also like occasionally I have to eat whilst doing this podcast. But also I hear the note. I am curious if Jesse Tyler Ferguson's podcast is going to be, if they're going to have to stop. Because I told you I did it. And the whole thing is that like we eat through the whole thing.
The whole thing.
And I was like, well, Jesse, I feel like people are not going to want to listen to this. And he was like, what? He was like, I did think about that. And I was like, because let me tell you something. I get like hate mail when I eat on our podcast. And he's like, well, we'll see. We should talk to him about it. He's going to be a guest in a couple of weeks. We should talk to him about it.
Here's what I'm imagining. I'm imagining there's a whole subset of people that love to listen to people eat, and they'll be huge fans of that podcast. And then maybe we can be like, hey, sometimes Busy takes a bite of something on our podcast too. So if you're into that, tune in and maybe you'll hear it. And if you're not into it, just fast forward past the bite. But also just sometimes you're imagining that you're hearing her eat and she's really not. She's just talking. And
I would say like most of the time I'm not eating.
Most of the time, like I feel
I drink a lot. I drink a lot of liquids. I do drink a lot.
Yeah, because you have to stay hydrated. But I don't think nobody's ever made a comment about a drinking noise. So I don't know. But I just, we gotta live.
Also like, I wonder what that is. Like,
that people don't like the sound of eating.
Oh, no, I know what that is. I mean, I have that. I can't stand chewing. Other people chewing. Are you kidding?
Yeah. Oh, you wonder why people would imagine they heard you eating?
Misophonia.
Yeah.
Misophonia. I have misophonia.
Yeah, me too. Like everyone in my family puts music or television on before they start to eat something to save everyone else from.
You have to.
Yeah. But you were wondering why someone would imagine that they heard you eating?
I don't know. I had a thought about it, but it went away.
It went away.
My thought went away.
We lost it. We lost it.
Alfie is just really over here sniffing it up. I hope Gina's okay. I'm worried.
I bet she's okay. She just has a sensitive tummy.
She is her mother's daughter.
What are you doing your best at this week?
I don't know. Working out, I guess.
Yeah, you really have gotten back into it.
Yeah, I took 2 days off this weekend because I got my period and I was exhausted and I was just feeling like, ugh, I can't do it.
Yeah.
But I went back today.
Yeah.
And I really do love it. I love working out. I do love it. I love that workout.
Yeah.
Specifically. Like I think I actually need to say this. I don't love working out, period. I love that workout.
Okay.
And I love doing it there. Like, it's just, and here's what I want to say. To anyone who is like an anti-worker outer bee, I think that moving your body in a way that makes you feel good is the most important thing. And whatever that means to you. Like, I don't think that you have to be like sweating like a crazy person or doing leg lifts or jumping on a trampoline or boxing or swimming or whatever. But I think like moving your body in a way that makes you feel good is a vital part of living. And you need to figure it out. Like you should, if you're not a person that moves enough, you should figure out how to move your body to make yourself feel good. Like maybe it's dancing in your kitchen or your living room. Jumping jacks. Emily's dancing in her kitchen right now. or maybe it's like walking with friends, or maybe it's, I don't fucking know what it is. I'm just saying we got to move our bodies because it like grounds you and it gets you sort of like out of your head.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's really, sorry, Emily's making lunch now.
That's okay.
Should we have Emily come over and chew into the microphone? Maybe people like her chewing noises better.
I don't know. I don't know if it's like person chewing specific. I've wondered that as well about those like ASMR mukbang videos that people like to watch, if they like a specific person or if they just like all of them. Like if you like one, do you like them all? Or
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Because ASMR is not a thing that I've ever been like into.
Yeah. Sometimes it, sometimes I get into a loop of watching like those, especially those restocking videos that people like to like refresh their refrigerator drawers or whatever. But then I think it makes me anxious over time, like the fast motion and the like tapping your fingernails on like applesauce cups or whatever. Like it starts to make me anxious.
I did a really good job. I did my best at painting my own nails.
Oh, they look good.
They do look good. Thank you.
They look good. They look
Thank
good.
I did a really good job. But yeah, I mean, oh, what are you doing your best at?
I think that I'm doing my best at not being impatient. Like there's a bunch of stuff that just needs to get done around. I hope my husband doesn't mind me saying this, but like the floors in our house are trashed. Like they were trashed when we moved in. And so we haven't been especially careful with them. And to give you an idea of how trashed the floors were when we moved in, they're hardwood floors, but the people that owned, okay, so it's like strip flooring, like strip, I don't know, is it maple? I don't know what the species of wood is, but you know, like the narrow strips of hardwood floors. But the prior owners of our house, and I've talked about this on the podcast before, they really did a lot to make this house in their personal style, which I think is a homeowner's right. One of the things that they did is that they had some company come in and almost like, have you seen wood burning, like the craft of wood burning before? Mm-hmm. Like when people, you know, burn in a design into wood, like an artistic design. Mm-hmm. So I believe it's burned. This company came in and they wood burned around the edges of several planks together to give the illusion of like a wide plank floor. And they also burned like little peg holes at the end of, so it looks like you've seen a wide plank floor that's been fastened with pegs in like an
By the way, I've seen your floors, but I don't remember this.
It's so,
I need a picture now. Now I need a picture.
It's so strange. I'll send you a picture. But okay, so that's what they did to make it seem like a very Western, old-timey, wide plank, peg-fastened floor. And the name of the company is actually branded into the corner of our living room. The people that did this artistic treatment.
Insane. Wait, did you look it up? Is this something that was done like in the 70s or 80s?
I think it had to have been done in the 60s or 70s.
This is like that's wild.
It's insane. And I forget it. And every time I see that brand in the corner of the living room floor, I'm like, oh shit, these people like went around branding people's like living room floors. So anyway, that's to say, like, there was one time when this floor was very loved and a great deal of attention was paid to it. But then cut to later, the people who owned the house were older, their kids were grown, and the husband who owned the house was telling us that the wife liked to invite stray cats in to feed them, and which I think is... That's okay. You know, you love cats and it's your house. But he said that then he knew that she needed glasses when one day he came into the living room and she had dumped out cat food on the floor and there were stray cats eating the cat food. And she pointed and said, look at how big that one is. And it was a raccoon had come into the house and was eating. Yeah. So that's just to give you an idea of how fucked up the floors are. And so we haven't taken particular care of the floors. Like we keep them clean, but the finish is worn off and it's gotten worse. And there was a place where the window leaked and that's the place where it's really like, and Eli has done his best to try to like spot refinish the floor in that spot, but it's given up the ghost. Like it's not refinishable anymore at this point. So we were just trying to figure out like what we're going to do to replace the floors in our house. Like what's an economical, environmental, possibly DIY situation that we can do to replace the floors. So there was this one product that I wanted to put down on the floor that I thought like it was environmental. I wasn't sure how easy it was to install, but I'm always confident in us.
Is it like bamboo?
No, it wasn't bamboo. It was like a rubber, like a recycled rubber product that I really,
cool.
that I liked the look of. Mm-hmm. And so I sent away to get color samples and they came right away. And I was like, this was so easy. Great. Then I contacted them to get like a price for per like square foot, like how much it would cost. Didn't hear back. Contacted them again. Never heard back. Contacted them a third time and they were like, oh my God, we're so sorry. You actually have to call this person and leave a message. She's your local sales representative. She'll get right back to you about it. And so I did that, never heard back. Called back to the main number, asked for a price, never heard back. So then I started leaving comments on their Instagram posts because I also DM'd them on Instagram and I was like, hey, I've called like 6 or 7 or 8 times trying to get a quote. Can you please just let me know how much this flooring costs? Because I'm really interested in using it. They wrote back and they were like, oh my God, we're so sorry. What's your email? We'll send you a price list right away. Gave my email, never heard back. So then I started commenting on their Instagram because they do really nice posts that show how beautiful this flooring is. And I'd be like, this flooring is so beautiful. I would love to put it in my house, but nobody from your company will call me back. And then I was like, you know what? The 4th time I left an Instagram comment, I was like, I'm becoming a troll to this flooring company. Like they clearly don't want to or can't for whatever reason give me a price. Like I don't know why they continue to market this product that can't be bought. And why I guess I could just keep asking for samples until I had enough samples to cover the floor of my house, but that seems like time consuming. So anyway, I've emotionally moved on to another product that I think will accomplish a lot of the same things. It doesn't have exactly the same look, but I've just moved on. And now I'm in that space where like, I've decided what we're going to use. We've decided as a family what we're going to use. And, and we've saved up the money. We've put aside the money to do it, I think. And now I just have to wait until we actually do it. And I just have to live with the Western branded raccoon scratched floors until we're ready to do that. But there was a time when this period would have really like wound me up with so much anxiety and I would be very upset that it wasn't happening tomorrow. Mm-hmm. But now I just know like it's going to take time to order this and for it to get here. And then like it's going to take time to like rip out all the floors throughout this entire house and lay down this floor. And, and my husband works many hours a week. And so, so I'm just being patient, which is not always my strongest suit.
Who's good at being patient?
Some people really are, I was just thinking about the other day, like when I was a little kid, like you were saying, you said just the other day what you wanted for your birthday, and then it was here like 2 days later, and that's a miracle.
that was insane.
But that's not how it used to be. Like when I was a little kid, my grandmother would always be like, oh, we'll have to send away for that. And then it'd just be like months later that it would come, if at all. And so like, I love that we can get things on demand now. Although I do think it makes us like a little spoiled sometimes. I can't believe that I lived in a time when you would just have to like put a check in an envelope and mail it off and hope that you saw something in 1 to 2 months. A result of you just faithfully sending money out into the universe.
Oh my God, I remember Columbia House Records, the best.
Yes.
Fucking best.
Oh my God, Columbia House Records, where you could like, how many tapes could you get for like 1 penny, 20 tapes, 10 tapes?
Yeah, it was 12 CDs, I think. 12 or 13 CDs for a penny.
And then they would
cancel
just
anytime. But then you would always forget to cancel. And that's how I ended up with that Jimmy Page What was that? What was that collab? Like it was like Paige and it wasn't Paige and Plant. It was like I can't remember, but I got this album and my mom was like so annoyed or something, you know, that I hadn't canceled the thing. And I was like, no, I really wanted this. I'm 12 years old. She's like, oh, really? You wanted this Robert
God.
Plant album, Busy? Who's Robert Plant? I really wanted it. I don't know. Because then they would just send you shit if you didn't cancel.
And you wouldn't like get to choose. They would just.
It was such a good scam.
Such a good scam.
I wonder where they are now.
I don't know. That's a really good question. They should come back and make everyone pay what they owe for all of those free ones.
I can't. No,
we wouldn't be able to.
I can't. I wouldn't be able to. Not at all. You know, I saw a tweet / meme / I don't know what anything is anymore, you know. And this guy, it's just Columbia House Records reminded me of like Scholastic Book Fairs and how we've talked on this podcast before about doing an adult Scholastic Book Fair. And I saw a tweet from, and also we just talked with Alex about multiple people having the same ideas or thoughts or jokes or whatever. Yes. I saw a tweet from a guy that was talking about Scholastic Book Fairs for adults. And he had a really great take on it, which was like, it's a night. We all go, we pick out all the stuff, blah, blah, blah. And at the end of the night, like all the stuff you buy just gets donated to kids.
Oh, that would be so fun.
I know.
That's a great idea.
Such a great idea. And also I was like, but I want a koosh ball. Because remember like up at the front, there was like weird, like
notions.
There were just like
impulse buys.
It was like the original checkout lane.
Yes.
Like Bed Bath & Beyond. Oh my God, I went to the Bed Bath & Beyond that was closed. That's closing. Because, you know, they're all closing.
They're all
which is
closing,
like a real end of an era.
Truly.
That's like insane.
Truly.
I never thought I would live to see the day that BB&B was out of here.
They went too far beyond.
They went so far beyond, they're done.
Yeah.
But I'm bummed because I love Bed Bath & Beyond.
Yeah.
Anyway, I had to get an air fryer for this rental.
Okay.
Because I'm gonna give it to Emily when I'm done.
Yeah.
Because, you know, Cricket is in a moment in her life where the majority of the food that she eats is cooked in an air fryer.
Same. I'm in the same era as Cricket.
And I said, and I think I'm right, and guys, sorry if someone's already tweeted it. I would tweet it, but I don't have the interest in in somebody like then quote tweeting the person that tweeted it first. You know what I mean? I can't. I'm not here for that anymore. I'm not involved in these things. But anyway, I said out loud, the air fryer is to this generation of mothers what the microwave was to mine.
Oh my God, you're not kidding.
Not kidding.
Wait, were we talking about it at Ashley's house?
I was so fucking drunk at Ashley's house. I have no idea.
Because the reason why, because
I showed up, I came in so hot, so late, so drunk.
But it was great to see you. But the reason why I'm wondering is because I know that recently in a group conversation,
that's right,
Matt brought up that one thing, my family was so poor, truly poor growing up. But one thing that we did have was the like prototypical microwave, which was called like a radar range. Have you ever seen this, Busy?
No, I know what a radar range was. Yeah.
It had dials and like buttons that you pressed in, like raised buttons. And my grandmother bought it for my household because she did the majority of the cooking. And I think she thought like in this moment, like I'll fork over whatever it was, a couple $100 or maybe $500 even, and get this like oven of the future that will really help me in my old age, like cooking for this kid and the rest of the family. And what actually happened was that my grandmother was terrified to touch it. And so she would always prepare whatever, put it in the radar range, and then call me over to do the dial when I was like 5 years old and press the button. Like she trusted a 5-year-old more than she trusted herself to start up the radar range. But anyway, agree on the air fryer. I was anti-air fryer. I feel like it came out And like everybody who had one was going to have one. And I thought the moment was over and I never got one because I was like, I don't need another appliance on my countertop. And then our friend Nelson Walters, co-executive producer of Busy Tonight and also longtime collaborator of mine, got one for a wrap gift that he worked on another show. And he loved it so much that he got me one for my birthday a few years ago. And since then, I don't think I've ever eaten anything that hasn't been cooked in an air fryer.
Vegetables, frozen food, bacon, turkey bacon, frozen sausages.
I make toast in mine. I make halloumi cheese. Have you ever done
cheese? Halloumi cheese, guys. Guys, what do you want to put in the air fryer? Let's do it. Let's air fry it. Let's do it. I want everything air fried.
Everything.
And it was like, it's so funny because in this rental, a very nicely appointed rental home here in Los Angeles, I'm like, they have everything you need except for an air fryer. Like, they got to get with the times. An air fryer is a must.
Maybe they took it with them wherever they went.
Yeah, probably. I would.
I feel like an air fryer is maybe like a little personal. So maybe you take it with you everywhere. Maybe you just, like it's your like third kid now.
Anyway, the Bed Bath & Beyond, I have spent so much time, so many years of my life, over so many years of my life, different moments in my life at that particular Bed Bath & Beyond,
right?
Hollywood and Vine. I cannot even explain to you how fucking weird and surreal and appropriate it felt to go there and have it be closing.
Just abandoned tumbleweeds.
It was wild. I was just like, what is all of this saying to me? Also, guys, Caissie knows this because I texted her, you're going to fucking die. The pharmacy would not fill my prescription because my doctor called it in under busy Phillips and they wanted it to match my license. I have never in my life, ever in my life, and then twice in 1 week in Los Angeles.
Wow. I mean, I asked you, like, had some law been passed or whatever that required everything to exactly match your license?
Yeah, the law that was passed was get the fuck out of LA, Busy. Well, you're not welcome here anymore. No one wants you here. Go.
You will have to test it out in another state.
But I literally just got my prescription last month in New York under busy Phillips.
I know. I'm just saying. You can't take Bed Bath & Beyond closing as a sign because it's closing everywhere. So don't take that one personally.
But it was I didn't take it personally, but it did feel surreal.
Yes.
Like walking around that Bed Bath & Beyond felt wild. Also, to speak to how everybody loves an air fryer, in the entire the store is filled with things. There's so much still left in that store, in the Bed Bath & Beyond store. Yeah. And everything's like on sale, like 30 to 60% off currently. Okay. Mm-hmm. And like so much shit in that store. So much so that I was like, damn, I wish I lived here, needed more stuff. I don't. But only 3 air fryers remained in the entire store.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. So I'm just saying air fryers are a popular item.
They're so popular. Well, I said the other day, we were on a phone call the other day and the subject of air fryers came up weirdly. Because you think that we talk about super personal, private things on the phone, but no, also still talking about air fryers. And I said that I have seriously been like, what do I need this whole entire oven for? Like, what do I need a full oven in my house for when I cook everything in the air fryer? I could put what would you put that's oven sized? If I like ripped out my oven, what would you put instead of an oven? I could have anything.
More storage?
A
drink fridge? I would put, oh my God, wait. A friend of mine has, like in their house, they have like sort of like a smaller-ish regular refrigerator.
Yeah.
And freezer. But then in their island, they have a vegetable pull-out drawer that's like perfect humidity or whatever settings for vegetables. And then they have another one, and it's really deep and like has like shelves on it. So your vegetables don't like pile on top of each other. And then it has another one that's for fruit. And then there's one that's drinks, like pull out that's drinks. I just feel like that is genius.
That is,
and if I could,
genius.
That's like, to me, that felt like the height of like luxury.
That is the height of luxury.
You know?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I could put like I could put a second dishwasher. I could put.
Okay, wait. I got to say this. I stayed in a fancy rental house once that was really big, like in the desert, like years ago for Coachella.
Yeah.
And it was like one of these like big, dumb, mega mansion-y vibes that a bunch of friends got together and rented. 2 dishwashers is not what you think it is. You don't want it. You never, like the second dishwasher just sat there. It was like, unless there's one dinner party where you need like,
right.
But that's not going to happen a lot.
Right. And I'm not going to have a dinner party without an oven. No.
That's probably true.
Friend's birthday party that we went to was so beautifully catered. Mm-hmm. And then again, like as I was talking about with Emily about the pizza, people don't tend to like really scarf down a lot of food at a party in my experience. So even if you get the right amount of food for the people that are going to be there, you'll always have leftovers. And so we filled up our friend's refrigerator with leftovers. And then I was like, I'm going to have to start putting some food in your skincare fridge that you have in your bedroom because like it's so full.
Just cheese and meats in the skincare fridge.
Like with the moisturizers and serums.
Sure.
But I don't know how much would have fit in there. But people really loved packing tips last week. So I'm going to give another party tip, which is that if the person's having a beautifully catered party, a bottle of wine is amazing. That's an amazing gift. Flowers, amazing gift. I'm going to say offbeat, but also amazing gift. Stop at the grocery store and get a multi-pack of Gladware food storage containers.
100%.
You will be the hero of the night because the person
100%.
never has enough to pack away their leftovers. And so you can just give them a little inexpensive, help them pack up their meatballs and their cheeses and be on your way. Anyway, that's my tip. I haven't done it yet, but every party that I go to from now on, I'm going to bring like a thing of Gladware.
I feel like although if you get to a party and there's no food and it's not catered, you'll be like,
well, then you just leave it in your car. Just leave it in your car.
That's true. That's true.
Only go fetch it if the moment presents itself.
Listen, in New York, you can't do that.
You can't do that.
You can't leave it in the cab.
Then you're an actress. You can just be like, oh, this is my Gladware that I got on the way here because I needed it.
I think I'm going to start with my green notebook.
You're going to start with your green journal? Mm-hmm. I'm so excited.
I don't call them journals. I call them notebooks.
Notebooks, the notebook.
Because also this one that I was using, the yellow one.
Yeah.
I really like this color notebook that I got, this golden rod.
Yes.
I didn't even open it. It's grid paper. Nothing I hate more. Nothing I hate more. But I've already made some notes in it for the meeting that we had. Oh, I've made actually a lot of notes in this. Hard to know what I should do now.
Grid paper is good, I find, when you're trying to figure out something visual. That's the best application for it. But for like notes, it's really too small and it makes you feel bad about your writing being like ungainly.
And I already have like handwriting that most people would probably analyze as like a serial killer. My handwriting is so sloppy and messy and dumb. I have dumb handwriting. Not dumb and like, just like, ugh.
Well, don't beat yourself up over your handwriting because we hardly write anymore. And the point is, like, as long as it's legible, that's fine. You know what I mean? Like, as long as you're doing it, that's fine. You can't really, like, I come from weirdly, like, I believe my grandfather, who I never met because he passed before I was born, but he won some, like, national penmanship competition because his handwriting was so perfect and beautiful. And also, my father, not that wasn't his father, but my father also had really perfect penmanship, and it was so beautiful and perfect. But here's the thing, like that didn't get him anything, you know? And his life was still as messed up and more messed up than other people's. So, you know, and he wrote beautiful things with his beautiful handwriting. He really did. He was a beautiful songwriter, but he never did anything with it. So, you know. So handwriting isn't like the whole, it's not the whole shebang.
It's not the whole shebang.
Yeah.
Wait, did we just say that at the same time?
Yeah.
I just asked Emily if she has a little brick because I want to start
plug in your
printing things
printer?
out for my
I'm excited
notebooks.
too. I'm excited for you to print a picture of Gina on a little sticker.
I'll see how my little jeans is doing.
I know.
It's been like such a fucking wild week, I have to say, emotionally speaking. A real roller coaster of emotions.
Yeah. But roller coasters are fun and scary.
No. A roller coaster can be fun.
Yes.
A roller coaster of emotions.
Not. But there are some highs.
Well, that good news that I got about my friend was, that was huge.
Yeah.
And so far, that's it. But that's enough. Like, that's all I need. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I get that. Well, I hope I'm going to see you soon here.
No. Can we see each other? What are we doing?
I don't know. Because I also might be going to New York to see you there. So
we're going to go there, right?
Yeah, I think so. But
guys, we can't wait.
We don't
We
need
can't
to
talk about it. Can't talk about it.
We don't need to work it out on air. But,
we should, though. We should. This is like, now you guys, now you hear, this is the real shit.
That we have to.
Do you want to come with me on my literal 6 a.m. flight the day after my birthday? I'm contemplating just flying there on my birthday. I got to be honest.
Really?
Instead of flying at 6 a.m.
A 6 a.m. flight is rough and rude. I don't even think they should have them, to be honest.
Well, because you have to wake up at 4.
Yeah, it's fucking ridiculous.
So lame.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of a 6 a.m.
where did you take
flight.
that little printer? Oh.
She took it to charge it.
Does it charge? Is that what it does? It charges?
It's wireless. Yeah, I think.
I should read the instructions. I should just.
I doubt they're in
didn't know.
English. I doubt there's a lot in English. I feel like it's.
Oh my God. Guess what somebody sent me? And then
What?
I reached out to the company on Instagram because it's only available in China right now.
What?
It's like this little printer like you sent me,
Yeah.
except it makes anything into a temporary tattoo.
Oh my God, I saw that. I also saw that on TikTok. And I want to get the thing that prints things on your fingernails, but that one's expensive. The machine that prints.
I don't need anything printing on my fingernails, I don't think.
I want that. I love
Really?
to have designer fingernails.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe you're right.
I love a fingernail pattern.
Yeah, right. Wait, let's see what they said to me. Imprint 2.
Imprint
Thank
2,
you.
yes.
Our global launch is happening in late June. It's so cool. Imprint 2.
Well, you'll let us know what happens when you get it. You'll fill us in.
Man, it looks so cool. I want to get another tattoo, I think. What do you think?
Do you while you're here?
Yeah.
Or all right.
I don't know, just in general.
Yeah. That's how it goes. We were talking about that. I was talking about that with Yasser Lester, our friend, about how just once you get a handful of tattoos, you can't stop.
Oh, well, I'm ready. It's been a while.
It's been a while. It's time for your birthday. Do you know what you want to get, or do you just want the tattoo?
Well, I do think I want to get ungovernable talent? Ungovernable temper.
Ungovernable
I do think
temper.
I want to get ungovernable temper.
That's a good one. Mm-hmm. Or the big phoenix on your back, like Ben Affleck.
I already got that. I'm going to get a tattoo that just says daddy. Just call me daddy. If you're J-Lo, you can call me daddy. All right, you guys. On that note,
We love you. Thank you for listening. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Guys, we love you so much. We love you so much.
And we'll talk to you very soon.
So soon.
Stay away from orcas.
We got to get back into the orca conversation.
Next week, more on
next week.
orcas.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm doing my best.
Oh, no.